Cheryl and Mitch said, why don't we go across to Eli's and have dinner? It's right across from the hotel, and it looks like a good place. And we wound up going instead to the Palm, which was tremendous, phenomenal.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I said, oh, that's funny you should mention Eli's because we talked about going there last night. This is on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's right across from our hotel.
Oh.
Now, here is Mr. Thompson, who obviously has a full, rich life and does nothing but monitor these shows and conjure up all of these fantasies in his mind about everything that's going on and everybody who visits my home and every move that we make, which is none of his goddamn business and has nothing to do with anything that's on the air.
No kidding.
And here are his notes. Okay, phone calls. 215 East Chicago Avenue. That was the address of this restaurant that somebody gave. Eli's, and here's the phone number. Hotels near Eli's. So obviously he called this phone number, made up some story about probably needing to meet people who didn't remember the name of the hotel and what are the hotels in the area near Eli's. And here's the Drake, the Barclay, the Tremont, the Whitehall, the Raphael, and the Ritz-Carlton. And as it turned out, we did stay at the Ritz-Carlton. It's got the phone number for the Ritz-Carlton. And evidently, after he called the Ritz-Carlton, he was able to verify that Neil Rogers or whoever else he asked for, Disney, were staying there. Underneath Ritz-Carlton, he's got 73189 security in the name of an individual who works in security at the Ritz-Carlton. Now, what he told that individual, only time will tell, because we're investigating that even as I speak, all right? Coincidentally enough, and I just say this coincidentally, I underline that in red, the next day after Mr. Thompson's frantic phone calls to Chicago to find out where we were staying, which was none of his business and had nothing to do with anything that was on the air, we nearly got killed in the rent-a-car. Which you've heard that story, I assume.
Sure. Everybody remembers that story.
Now, I'm not necessarily connecting the two. Okay? That would be reaching pretty far. But it looks bad, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
You see, it looks bad when you keep sticking your tentacles into other people's business.
People assume things.
People start to assume things.
Put things together.
And when there's one sheet in here, and if I wish the audience could see this stack, this is only a small portion of the ongoing memoirs, all dealing with Neil Rogers and WINZ and Zeta and WIOD. There's several pages in which he's talking to the CDC, which is the Citizens for Decency Council, or one of these ultra right-wing groups. And on one page it says, CDC favor violence towards sodomites.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. And even after that particular date, there still are ongoing phone calls noted in his own. This is kind of like a diary. Okay?
Very illuminating.
Let me just read you one of the phone calls with Dennis Collins, November 10th, 88. That's 3 days after we started here on WIOD. 11:50 a.m., Tim Williams told Dennis Collins that Gannett was talking with Disney through Williams to make sure Rogers didn't get into this history of give and take Ray his old station on WIOD. My note to Dennis, interesting that Zeta let him beat on me for 15 months, but is now so very concerned about their rights not being beaten up by Rogers. 11/7/88, that's the day we started on the air here.
Yes.
Dennis Collins was talking into my machine from his car phone. I have his voice on my tape. During this call, someone called me and would say nothing, but Roger's show was on in the background. Dennis and I concluded the call, and I replayed message. It was an obscene message from one of Roger's listeners. And Dennis is on here just repeatedly. Also, remember the problems I had, the original problems with my satellite dish when some crank called up the real estate woman who rented me my house? And through her, told her that misrepresented himself as being from the city of Plantation, and that my landlords had been fined retroactive $500 a day for the satellite dish, which was a flagrant lie and got my landlords crazy. Well, here's another page, all dealing with the zoning enforcement in Plantation, and with Neil Rogers' satellite dish, and with the name of the woman with Merrill Lynch Realty, who is the woman who handles the rental of my house. You think that's just another coincidence? And at the bottom of this page, here is a description, which I won't read because it's nobody's business. Here's a description of the location and the structure of Stan Major's house.
What?
On the bottom of this page. And here are pages and pages very clearly showing the surveillance and taking of license plate numbers and notes about Harlan and Bob and some of the other people from Cooper City and Stem and Joe, Joe with 8 N's and this one and that one. This is a pattern. This is like a book. And it reads very clearly of someone who is committing the most heinous, the most obnoxious, and atrocious harassment, who is out not only to get Neil Rogers off the air, but just to absolutely destroy my life, to destroy anybody who stands in his path, including Cox Broadcasting, Guy Gannett Broadcasting, anybody, you name it. And this is America? This is a legitimate reason to get up out of bed every morning to conduct hours and hours and hours of this kind of harassment? Mr. Thompson, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, I knew because I've lived through it for over 2 years now. We're in the third year this month of this ongoing hate campaign, all in the name of religion again.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of it, but now having all of this in black and white, this is incredible, shocking. Sorry, Jay. And I just wonder about all these great legal minds, because my feeling about the legal profession, you know what it was before, now it's at the all-time low. Because nobody, other than our own attorneys, nobody really seems to give a damn. And you can do anything as an attorney. Of course, here are these hundreds and hundreds of letters. You remember American Comedy Network on the other station?
Of course.
Every song parody, every one that we played, there was a letter in here to the record company of the original.
Good.
Talking about the fact that we on Zeta were playing this song parody and that American Comedy Network had recorded this without obtaining permission and rights, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is common practice in the industry. It's done all over the country.
Yeah.
But here again is this self-appointed individual who's going to determine what we can do on the air, what we can say on the air, what you people can listen to, and what the standards for the industry are, all in his little ivory tower, because he has nothing else to do. 1027 at WIOD. Here's another great page from this same bunch of crap, okay? If I can find it. The one that says April 1st, Neil's house.
April 1st.
Oh, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Neil's house, April 1st. This is last year. Harlan and Bob there.
Mm-hmm.
Tags. And here we have the license plate numbers of these terrible criminal youth from Cooper City. With all sorts of... And then he's even got comments about Harlan. Bad grades occurred in January.
Really?
Dad is Joe. Spoke with the so-and-so on 7/31/88. He doesn't know Harlan's last name, but he was a senior and confirms that Harlan went to Vegas. Harlan flunked and seems like a fruit, it says.
No.
Well, I hate to break the news to you, Jack, but Harlan is not, as you would call it, a fruit by any stretch of the imagination. Harlan is also far too ugly for anyone to be sexually interested. But, of course, that's the overtone of everything. Everything comes back to sex. Everything we talk about in this man's mind has some kind of a sexual connotation. Everyone who visits my house is there for sexual purposes, which is incredible because I'm not getting any of it. So God only knows what happens when they leave the room. But you talk about an overactive imagination and an overstimulated gland of some sort there, or understimulated as the case may be.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I should read the notes about the Hollywood adult theater, shouldn't I? That part is... Can I read that on the air?
No.
You sure?
Unfortunately, no.
Are you sure? The last part?
I don't think
about
so.
the seats?
I don't think so.
Boy, you're hearing some wild rumors, Jack. I can't read the thing where he says there's semen dripping from the seats in the... Boy, I've never seen that.
No.
I better take my magnifying glass in next time. Huh?
Yeah,
According to, this
that?
is from the detective, John Williams in Hollywood, who, of course, gave him this real distorted, bizarre story, you know. But, honest to goodness, if we ought to have a TV documentary and bring this all on the air and have all of South Florida really get into this. This is one of the most bizarre and incredible stories. This isn't just somebody, doing a little nuisance thing or making a few calls to sponsors. This is somebody who has just dedicated his entire existence to the destruction of another human being and, of course, obviously, this radio show.
Yeah.
10:30 at WIOD. Look at that. We got several calls on the board already. This is are you still there?
Yes.
Well, how about that? A mobile who hung on for dear life.
Can you believe it?
Not really.
And Neil, I hate to change the subject after all this stuff. Jack sounds like he really likes you.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine.
Listen, I was listening.
Calls me every day to see how I'm feeling. Just a joke, Jack. It's just a joke. See, we have to say that because he has no sense of humor. So if we say something in jest, he tries to make it seem as though, It was said seriously.
I know.
So in response to that line, he would have said, now he's saying that I call him on the air. I've never called him at home. It's just a joke, Jack. Lighten up, as if Jay will let us use his material. Go ahead, sir. What do you want?
I was listening to Wins. I don't know if you heard it because I heard it.
Sir, come on. You were listening to Wins. Nobody listens to Wins.
I listen to the news.
By the way, Rich,
sometimes.
can you crank it down? It's hot as hell in here.
In the morning, sometimes, for the news.
Oh.
Anyway.
Great station.
Now, the guy that does sports, what's his name?
Ron Harrison.
Ron Harrison.
Almost forgot.
Yeah. He mentioned something. He said, do you know why the Dolphins are on WIOD? I don't know if you heard this.
No.
He said, because there's a 6-10 kind of team. 6 and 10.
Isn't that cute?
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it before. All right, that's it. Oh, just one other thing. Mr. Fields, set it up. Goodbye.
What does that mean?
I don't get it.
No, I don't either. I don't get either part. Well, I get the 6 and 10, but that's pretty weak. Come on, Ron. Stop knocking the Dolphins, will you please? We leave that to Steve over here. Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing? Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Glenn.
Hi.
Neil, I'm really sorry to be calling you on this kind of sad note, but I was just wondering, it's on a turnaround's fair play. Is it possible that, is it in...
In fact, I'm not even letting that go on the air, okay? Because that's just exactly what he wants, is to play the wounded soldier and to try to turn the tables, and I'm being oppressed, and they're conducting, orchestrating harassment. We don't give his number or his address. We don't want anybody calling him or harassing him. I've made that very clear. How many times? Dozens of times?
Over the years.
And whatever, and if it does happen, that's his problem, okay? That's his tough luck. Sonny Fox. Sonny who?
How y'all doing from Dallas, Texas?
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's a letter to you in here, too, Mr. Sonny Jr. Yeah, phone call from you, I guess it is, about Dave Caprita being a druggie or something, alleged?
I never said any such thing.
Oh, didn't you? Well, it's funny. Jack must have just made it up, huh? Yeah. And there's also a letter to you from Jack about how I said on the air on Zeta that you and Don Agony are homosexual lovers or something? Oh, wait a minute. This is Sonny, not Greg. Excuse me, Sonny. I get you and Greg so confused.
Actually, I'm calling because we want to take you up on that offer to extend the olive branch of peace to Glenn. We want to let him know that we love him, that we want everything to be okay.
Wait a minute, Greg. Why am I...
It really is Irene Richards.
Why am I getting all this barrage of phone calls from Love 94?
They love you.
That's right. This has gone on long enough.
They're not a bunch of soreheads like you are. They just want
What's gone on long enough, Greg?
We're very happy for your success there.
Are you?
Sure.
Especially now that we're not on in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's done wonders for my ratings over here.
Yeah.
By the way, how's
noticed.
Jack doing these days, Greg?
Who?
He cares a lot about you, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I am shocked. I'm sorry. This olive branch.
In fact, he did
peace.
mention the other day, want to know what you and Donald have been doing. I said, it's none of your business.
Donald and I are making a rare public appearance together this weekend.
You're making a rear public appearance? Wow. You don't want to let Steve get a leg up on you, so to speak, do you?
At the Fort Lauderdale Home Show. That's home show.
Yeah, you have to be very careful the way you say things these days. The commission is up there getting real nervous, you know?
Well, that's what we
And if the
understand.
commission doesn't get you, Jack certainly will.
Glenn, let's have dinner. Let's put it all behind us, so to speak.
Now,
Boy, that's a little more friendly than I thought you wanted to get.
Now, who's going to be at this dinner, Greg?
Did you get married yet?
Hey, Keith, you want to go to dinner with Glenn? Yeah. See? It's over.
Did you get married?
Oh, yes, I did.
Well,
Michelle.
congratulations. What's the guy's name? What's her name?
Michelle, not
Well-
Michael, Michelle.
That's cute.
And guess what?
Those
I'm having a
little
baby.
French Canadian guys. You're having a baby.
Yeah.
Well, that was quick work.
How does Neil Glenn Budell sound? Now, that's-
Yeah,
that's
right.
much
Now don't
public.
name the baby. Name it Nelson.
Yeah, we're expecting.
Are you really? When? About 2-3 weeks?
Well, the first baby in a marriage usually takes about 6 months. The others take 9.
Isn't nature wonderful, huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, listen, this is certainly a pleasant surprise hearing from you today.
Boy, isn't it?
What's his name again?
Gregory Benjamin?
It really is Irene Richards.
Shut up, Irene.
She sends her regards, too. But listen, Keith and I are going to go watch Joey. We can't stay on the phone all
Oh,
day.
yeah, listen, Smeg Green is going to be on with Joey today. It ought to be incredible.
Cool.
It ought to be dynamite, as they say in the bomb business.
Well, I can go invest my ratings bonus. I've got to watch her, see what she...
Now, listen, don't let this just be some kind of insincere call that falls off in a never land. Now, why don't you know his home number, don't you?
Glenn's?
Yes.
It's a 1-800 number, isn't it?
Yes.
If you don't know
it's an unlisted 1-800 number.
If you don't know it, people you work with sure do.
That's right. They got the number. Do this for real. Wouldn't that be great? And then we'll have Tom Jicka and Buddy Nevins can come with cameras, take pictures of that. It'll be terrific.
Terrific. Well, let's do it.
Yeah. In fact, then maybe we can all meet at that movie theater and see if Jack was right.
That's the one on 441, right?
Oh, jeez. Now, wait a minute.
I go there all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw you in the third row the other day. Boy, I tell you ought to shave that mustache and hide your identity. Okay, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, 1036 at WIOD. Gregory Benjamin Budell with Keith Allen making guttural sounds in the background.
Yeah.
That was exciting, wasn't
I'm speechless. I don't know.
Well, it must be because it's Sharon's life. We don't want to forget about Sharon. That's the whole purpose of the show today. But I did get a little sidetracked with these 40 billion pages of incredible material here.
No kidding.
Which is only just a little tip of the iceberg. No, seriously, this pile I got here, this isn't even 5% of all the rambling.
Don't say pile.
This stack, as they say in the pancake business, this short stack that I have here. We do have an opening in Broward, by the way, where Mr. Budell just hung up, and he does do a good Sonny Fox, I will say that.
Excellent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not too much else, but he does do.
Oh, yeah, he does one other very excellent.
I never disliked him. I never had any problem with him. And as time goes on, I begin to realize that a lot of the hostility, for example, Dennis Collins, one of my favorite people. It's 10:37 at WIOD, and we'll be right back. 10:39 at WIOD on a very mysterious Friday. Boy, there's just a whole bunch of things going on. And the amazing part of it is, other than Fat Rich, nobody knows what they are. Isn't that incredible? Fat Rich told me the exact date that Budell's baby is going to be born. And I said, how do you know? They said, I know everything.
He does.
Oh, excuse me. Boy, that potato salad's delicious. Boy, isn't it great that Publix left a little something so we could kind of cleanse our palates to get started for the onslaught of food that Rich came in for. Rich is looking pretty good there.
Yes,
what is
he
it,
is.
about 100 pounds now?
Yeah. It looks like it.
75 easy. Huh?
Yeah, almost 75. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
What is that, the weight you're going to put on today that you're talking about? I'm going to have that radish there, the one that's cut up real nice. You know how they have those utensils they're always peddling on a satellite on those stations where you cut the radishes and the watermelons? Well, somebody had one of them. I don't know anybody who's got one of those. Somebody actually had one, and they cut... it's at Publix. Well, boy, they sure know how to cut a radish over there. That's beautiful. It's almost a shame to eat.
It is beautiful.
The radishes are very good for it.
As far as radishes go,
they're high in vitamin C, by the way.
One of those beautifully cut ones I've ever seen.
Well, I'm almost in tears at this point. I'm so emotional now. Okay, come on. We got an open line in Broward. Let's fill it up here. Let's get these lines really going like you people gave a damn about something. I know you don't. Cubs 6, Phillies 2 yesterday, by the way. Cardinals 13-1 loss to the Mets. What? And Montreal lost 2 last night just for good measure. Boy, we are really doing it, I'll tell you. No wonder Budell was so happy. He's a big Cubs fan.
Yeah, he is. Since he was a baby, he said. Didn't he say since he was a baby? Didn't he say that?
He said since Harry Carey was knee-high to a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil.
How you doing?
Okay. Now that Sharon's leaving, where's Steve going to get all his chronics from?
Well, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea who. In fact, it's a good question you ask. Who's going to be the producer? Does anybody know?
There's a... they're going to replace her. There's a thing. Well, they're looking for someone on the
I see.
bulletin board downstairs.
I mean,
are you applying for the job, sir?
Well, I don't know. I don't know too much.
Maybe Jack
about,
Thompson could apply for the job. Then it would give him
tattoos,
something to
lesbians.
do, and it would also keep him close to the station.
He doesn't have time.
Oh, no, he doesn't have time.
Unfortunately. Oh, my God.
Well, maybe that signals a change in the
Boy, do I have
content.
I have some bad news for you, Johnny Dark.
Yeah, all those tapes you got in your arm, forget it. You can't get in there. Go ahead,
serious.
We got a caller on here, and you're hobnobbing with this slimeball Johnny Dark. Another wrinkled shirt on today.
Exactly. I don't want to get too serious again, but this person you talk about, Jack, has any of his harassment included anti-Semitism at all?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Because you could really nail him with that. I mean, that would be something that he could go
No, he
after.
saves most of his energy for homophobia, but if you cross your path, even if you're as straight as the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, isn't that what they call that bridge, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge? It doesn't make any difference. In other words, if you just don't see things from the proper perspective, you're a bad guy.
Well, I hope they really put him away for good, and he stops making your life.
Well, let me ask you a question. Just not forgetting about him specifically, but if you went on a trip to Chicago and it got on the air that you were in Chicago and you found out that some snoop was making phone calls to restaurants and hotels and to security people and nosing around to find out where you were, would you take kindly to that? Do you think that's part of what, rights to privacy in this country include?
I'd be slightly pissed.
Yeah, slightly pissed. That's an excellent way to put it, sir. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay. 10:43 at WIOD. And, then we got these judges who think, well, this is America. If you want to drive around in somebody's neighborhood, there's not much we can do about it. And if you want to, snoop around and interfere with people's rights to privacy, I say that's a crock of BS. Mm-hmm. I say that some of our local judges here need a good a refresher course. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. 10:44 at WIOD. Johnny, of course, who doesn't care about any of this, is here to eat today. He is here to just fill his fat face until he can't fill it anymore. He even brought a gigantic shoehorn from WYND in Sarasota. What's that? Isn't it a Buddy Bud shoehorn? Mobile on 8. Hello.
Hi, Neil. This is Bob, the Satellite Man. Heard you were having some problems down there with those neo-Nazis in your development that won't let you have a dish.
There's nobody in my development who gives a damn about my dish. I have no problem with that. The original interference on my satellite dish, and I live in Plantation, and it's well documented on a sheet I have right in front of my nose. The original interference was from someone who lives in Coral Gables who's been mentioned today.
Oh, okay, because, in fact, I've serviced the Plantation area, and I'm quite
Don't say it that way, or they'll be following you too, sir. If you're servicing in Plantation,
and you pull a permit and everything, it is legal.
Well, I know that, and we're
channels for you to choose from. And
right. Well, listen, do your other commercial for satellite dish next time, sir. 10:45 at WIOD. I mean, I love my satellite dish, but it's like not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Look at this page here. Here's the name of the woman again, who's the real estate lady at Merrill Lynch, and the name of the man who lives at the end of my street, who's the head of the, what do they call that? The association, yeah.
Gonza Mastuka.
The Gonza Mastuka, yeah. That's exactly it. And then that description of Stan's house and where he lives. Now, what in the world business is it of this man, where Stan lives, or what is that all about? Is he going to do surveillance down there, too? Stan's not even on the air, other than an occasional, like yesterday, once in a very blue moon.
I know.
Talk about an obsession. Talk about a just pathetic. And then the calls, though, with Dennis Collins back and forth, that's what I find most interesting in all of this. I mean, just numerous. Too numerous to mention. And I've only looked through a portion of this, and there are thousands and thousands of pages in the other room I haven't even seen yet. Now, why would Dennis be involved with someone of this ilk, huh? And Mike Thompson on the same station. Why would he be involved with this homophobic witch hunt? I just can't imagine. We do have an open line in Broward at 524-WIOD, and the Palm Beach line is open again. It's just like any other day. They don't care about any of this crap. They want to know where the food is. On the Kane Show today, from 2 to 4, PMS, a killer, 2 women whose problems with premenstrual syndrome nearly led them to murder, plus Dr. Gail Brown of the Florida PMS Clinic, and then from 4 to 6, Marvin Weinstein with parents of murdered children.
What?
So that sounds like a really uplifting show to end the week. We've got, what do we got? We got Hank and Joe on Sports Talk. I'm sure Hank will tell you all about the fact that starting in the November issue of South Florida Magazine, Hank is going to be a regular contributor for their new sports column, and publisher Graham Gloss. Isn't that a great name for a publisher of a glossy magazine? Graham Gloss says, his name should be Graham Schlock, though. We are pleased to have someone of Hank's credentials to launch our sports coverage. Isn't that incredible?
Huh.
It says, for the past 12 seasons, Goldberg has provided color commentary for the Miami Dolphins radio broadcast. He publishes a biweekly column in Dolphin Digest. His sarcastic, obnoxious comments are on the verge of getting Steve Kane fired. 10:47 at WIOD. Let's take our last break of the hour, and we'll come right back. More good news? It's 10 till 11 at WIOD. Here's some mobile in Broward. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Is a bird there?
Yeah.
Tell the bird I said hi.
Hi, he said hi.
Oh,
okay.
How nice.
I got a Channel 7 spy report for you.
Okay, now be nice now. They're right next door to us, and they don't take kindly to all this stuff, you know? In fact, there's a letter to Sally Fitz in this stack of stuff over here.
I bet.
Yeah.
You know what your friend Jim Perry's doing to you?
What's that?
He's in there, got a contest. Can the Cubs choke this year or not?
Isn't that cute?
Yes, he's got a contest. You're supposed to ride into him. I guess if you win some azalea seeds or something.
Yeah, you win a date with Sally.
Yeah, boy, that would be kind of like detrimental to your health, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know. Sally will have to answer that question herself.
That's it.
Okay, thanks for the update. We'll cash in on that.
All righty.
Did you read the marquee this morning and you drove in the parking lot?
No, because I had to come in from the other round.
Was that unbelievable?
They always have that entrance blocked off out there. I don't know what they're doing out there on the causeway, but they're having a gay old time.
Yeah, where I had to go to
so
get
to speak,
here.
of course.
It said Regis and Kathy Lee are on Channel 7 now. Now that's exciting.
Don't go I like Regis. He's a good guy. I had him on my show, and he used to have a great show until he got her on there.
Well, now
he got her back on the show. When he used to have the guy who laughed in the background, remember when he was on Lifetime? He had a funny show.
Oh, yeah, Lifetime.
See, it's good to have somebody who laughs in the background and just keeps their mouth shut.
I see.
Anyway, here's a couple of great letters in this packet of material, which is now part of the public record. February 13th, 1988, a letter from John B. Thompson to Steve Kane at WIOD. That's obviously long before we came over here.
Yes.
Ray Neil Rogers. Dear Steve, on December 4th, 1987 at 7:16 a.m., Neil Rogers informed his listeners that you have exposed your genitals to your daughters in your home. This reminds me of Flint's savaging of Falwell. Govern yourself accordingly. Best, John B. February 13th, same day, busy day. Greg Budell, WLVE, Miami. Ray Neil Rogers. Dear Greg, at 7:04 a.m. on February 12th, 1988, Neil Rogers informed his listeners that you and Don Agony are homosexual lovers as he has in the past. I have a recording of the defamation. Govern yourself accordingly. Best, John B. Thompson. I'm serious. We're going to have a regular feature on this show. Let's get Mitch to get some nice violin, some Mantovani music to play in the background, and every day at a regular time, to make sure nobody misses it, we'll have a regular feature called The Best of Jack, during which we'll read some of this classic stack of letters. It'll carry us at least for 2 years before we get through this stack.
Sounds
through
great.
These piles, if we can say that.
That sounds good. I like that.
Aren't these good ones?
Yes.
These are some of my favorite short ones. These are very short. We don't have a lot of time today. We have a lot of very heavy business to take care of, like this call in Miami. Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
Okay. I got to tell you, I'm changing the subject.
No.
Oh, jeez. Well, we'll give it a shot. What is it, sir? Bottled water? By the way, there's also a great note in there about a conversation with Nick that Jack had, too, before we came here. And Nick was very upset that I was coming here and that we were going to do that disgusting trolling for boys on the air, alleged, etc. Very interesting conversation, Nick. Go ahead, sir.
Let's go to the golf track.
What?
To the horse track.
Let's go to the horse track?
Yeah.
Well, after we eat.
On the Breeders' Cup. Gulfstream?
Breeders' Cup, yes.
Right. I sent in for tickets.
Yeah.
The prairie.
Probably it's all sold out, yeah. You're never going to get any tickets.
How long should it take me to get them back?
About next June, I would say. If you don't get them by next June, I'd give up.
Whoa.
10:53 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade County where Mr. Horse just hung up. Mr. Red, 751 WIOD. 751. By the way, Mr. Red, govern yourself accordingly. Plantation, hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hello there, how are you doing?
Great.
Hello, Glenn.
Hey.
You going on sir, you going on any trips anytime in the near future?
Any trips?
Yeah.
No.
Because if you do, we want to know what hotel you're staying at.
Well, first let me say that Alex Bennett,
yes,
ponderous.
Now we're getting to the real meat of the matter, that Alex Bennett. You know, today is the first day when I feel that the audience mostly has come back. It's taken me a whole week to get the audience back after him. He blew 89% of this audience right out the window.
Well, we're glad you're back, and I'm sorry that Glenn didn't get to do the show. So, Glenn, take my vote for you next time.
There you go.
Now,
thank you, sir. You know how much water that's going to hold around you, sir?
For the next issue, this douchebag religious fanatic here. Mm-hmm. I think what you're doing today is great. Hang his underwear out.
Oh, absolutely. He's been doing this in the dark for 2 years. I guess I shouldn't use that expression. He's been doing this undercover. No, that's not a good one. He's been doing this like all by himself. No, that also isn't a good one because I mean. Anyway, I was going to say something about exposing it, but I guess that wouldn't fit either. So you see, you get boxed into a corner where no matter how you phrase it, somebody can make it into something that it's not. But the bright floodlights are going to be on all these activities from here on in.
But you know what this also makes me think about?
Yes.
Okay, this creep that's following you around about your sex life and all that. Who does that doesn't that remind you of these morons like Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart?
Same genre,
crap.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, my plan is, it might cost you a little bit. Why don't you get yourself a private investigator?
Oh, yeah.
And have this douchebag followed, and every day instead
because I don't have any desire. I don't care where he goes as long as it's not near me or any of my friends. I don't care what he does. Just go live his life. See, I don't have this voyeuristic desire to know what's going on with him. I've never been near his house. I don't know where it is. I don't have any description of what it looks like, and I don't care. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, but if these judges aren't going to help you,
well, we did get another injunction yesterday, and if he violates this one, the judge has ordered that any municipal police, like Plantation or Davie or whatever, or the Broward County Sheriff, are under instructions to arrest him if he violates this injunction and comes anywhere near me or my house.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
But you never know. If you had someone follow him, you might find him at the Hollywood movie theater.
Well, he seems to have a pretty... Although I don't know. I've never seen any of these things there that he's writing about.
Well,
but
I guess
I haven't been looking closely enough.
Dripping from the seat. That's the point.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm going to have to start doing my own little investigation up close and personal. You know what I mean?
To know about all this stuff. You know?
Okay. Good point. Thank you, sir.
Hey, take care.
Okay. That is an excellent point. We're going to have to start investigating some of these things a little more closely and up personal. We do have some open lines on the board. I guess I shouldn't say that the audience has come back today. We have 3 open lines, so it's not overwhelming.
Better.
We're just waiting for a lot of good food to come in. I mean, this stuff is going to go to waste, which is a shame.
No, Johnny's here. It's okay.
No, seriously, he's holding back. Don't you see? He's not touching any of that. It's like, that stuff looks real good, but I want to wait for the good stuff, because he knows Wings Plus is coming, and I bet you Wayne Arnold is coming. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pizza Loft shows up. I mean, I said that we want a real giant party. Who would make a cake? Do we have a sponsor? Oh, I know who. Do you know the cheesecake lady?
Oh, yeah.
But it may be too late now.
Yeah, that's way up north.
Oh, that's way up in Broward? Mm-hmm. Somebody will come up with some kind of like a birthday, not a birthday, but a going-away cake saying good luck, best of luck, Sharon, etc. Because this is Sharon's last day.
I know.
Boy, is she lucky or what? Boy, you talk about jumping off just at the right time, you know?
Now, you didn't find any letters in that mountain of paper to Phoebe in there, did you? Anywhere?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Well, let me know if you run across anything.
I'll tell you, there's an interesting page here where it talks about Bob and Alan and STEM.
I know.
And I said to somebody the other day, if my sex life were really centered around all of the... Here it is right here. Yeah, Bob, Alan, and Andrew. And I thought to myself, I thought about that for a while, and I said, that sounds fine to me. I'll never leave the house. Unfortunately, none of it is true. But, boy...
I know.
What is that, like alternating days? Like on Monday it would be... Talk about Fantasia. Talk about just sitting out there in the... Oh, and there's one when we were at INZ. I got to find this during the break, and he's written down the license plate numbers, and he's convinced himself that Caprita drove a black Mustang, which he never did. In other words, he's got all the cars out in the lot assigned to a different person. I leave the building at 10:19 that morning, and then in the next space he's got written down 10:46 a.m. Rogers arrives home at such and such address in Plantation.
What?
So obviously he followed me home on that day, and maybe many others.
Oh.
Isn't that fabulous? But it's America, see, so you can just run around conducting your own little subversive surveillance and harassing people, which has a lot to do with what's on the air, doesn't it? So in other words, if I meet somebody through the show and they wind up being a friend of mine or coming to my house, then that proves I'm trolling for something on the air. Didn't Stan meet his wife, Lori, through the show?
I think so.
Didn't I meet Big Dave, who lives with me, but definitely on the other side of the house through the show?
Also, yeah, and also Steve-O met Lori.
I'll be damned.
On there, remember, at a
we
remote
better start
or something.
checking into a lot of this and following a lot of people.
Pretty
Okay,
subversive.
we got Henry Barrow standing by. Don't follow Henry, because we all know where he goes. It's all basically the same. Henry's got the 11 o'clock news. We'll come back at 11:05 with hour number 2 as the Goodbye Sharon party continues. Look at that. There's Smeg. She never looked better, did she? Look at that on the Joey Reynolds show. And said, wag your little tail there, Smeg. Isn't she cute? Well, I don't want to hear about that. Look at that. There's Joey. Now, who's that he's got? Is that Sonny Bono? I don't know what you're laughing about. That guy on the left there looks just like Sonny Bono, doesn't he? He looks like a cross between... Oh, I don't know who that is. Look at that. He's got Boy Gary's old suspenders. Who is that guy, huh? Anyway, we want to remind you that Smeg Green is going to be on a Joey Reynolds show today. God only knows why. What would prompt him to do that?
Got me. She's just in demand.
Well, no, you're right. She is in heavy demand. Kind of like Debbie Ellis. 11:06 at WIOD. It's hour number 2 on a Friday. It's Sharon's party. We don't have anything here for it yet, but we do have the stuff left over from Publix. Thank God for that. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if we didn't even have that? Because Rich and Johnny Dark are both got whimsical looks on their faces like, where's this giant spread we were expecting? Well, it's a little bit early, okay? Boy, you talk about really sick. I think Jack needs to investigate Johnny Dark myself. I think that's just a joke, John. Just a little joke. North Miami, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Listen, I just want to call my cousin Tony a douchebag and you a fag.
Okay, good call. Well, it kind of has a little meter there, a little rhyme. That's cute. We have an open line in Dade at 751 WIOD, 751-9463. I can't wait for the commercial break to get over with there so we can get to the important part of the Joey Reynolds show today.
Yeah.
Now, we'll probably be really hard-pressed for calls this hour. Because, now, what is it you're doing? You're not turning the sound up, are you? No. Turn it down. We're not going to start rebroadcasting Channel 10 on the air, okay? It's bad. It's hard enough to watch it. We don't want to listen to it. West Palm Beach.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Just here to prove that people up here do care. I've been...
Care about what?
You said people up here don't care, and I've been holding for quite some time because I do care. I wanted to speak to you and Glenn.
Have you seen the Joey Reynolds show, sir, on TV?
No, I'm not interested.
There's Meg. She really looks great, doesn't she? Hi, Smeg. How you doing? Go ahead, sir. It means nothing to you, any of this, right?
That's absolutely right,
well,
but it's fun to listen to, though.
That's a good sign.
Couple things. Number one, as far as your... this individual in Coral Gables, you mentioned something earlier that this campaign had been stepped up after you had kowtowed to him and taken certain things.
No, wait a minute. I didn't kowtow to anybody. There you go.
Okay. Well, I think that just proves it's like you're dealing with little children. When you give them reinforcement, they keep doing what they're doing.
In this case, I don't think it makes any difference. I mean, this individual is so obsessed and so driven by this. I mean, he doesn't have any other purpose for getting up in the morning. I mean, this is all he does.
Sure, but
don't
you think if they give him encouragement that
well,
he's sort of winning, that he'll just do it even more?
It doesn't help, that's for sure.
The other thing...
But I'd like to know, can you enlighten me as to where we stayed in Chicago, what that has to do with what's on the air and cleaning up the airwaves? Can you tell me what that has to do with anything?
Nothing, but if you can, better yet, of all this I've been listening to, if you can prove that he was the guy that was making misrepresentations regarding your satellite dish, I think you got a really good legal case against him.
Well, it's all right there in the telephone records because the real estate lady lives in Broward, he lives in Dade. I've already through various stuff that's been slipped under my door anonymously. I've already seen certain telephone records which are incredibly incriminating, and you just put all this together and it's right there in black and white.
Well, as you have said, there's a lot of things that are immoral and he shouldn't be doing, but that legally nobody's going to even slap his hand for. But what you've described, as far as if you can prove he was doing that with about the satellite dish and impersonating these other people and trying to get it taken out, I think you're going to nail him on intentional infliction of emotional distress. I hope that's one of the counts in your lawsuit. And you get punitive damages and get into his financial records.
No, you don't get anything. This man hasn't got 2 nickels to rub together in his name. He's got everything in his wife's name. So it's it's just an exercise.
Sure. Well, on a lighter note, I listened a little bit to Bill Calder this morning, and he told a caller who didn't know his name. He was trying to give her a T-shirt. He said, "Well, do you know what my name is?" And she didn't. And he said, "Well, it's Glenn Hill. Be sure to ask for Glenn Hill."
He did?
Yep. Before the end of the show.
Don't get him started again.
I thought it was kind of cute.
It was.
Yeah.
Even you thought it was cute.
Well, the Bill Calder's talking about me. Yeah, I think that's
Well, you ought to
cool.
hear what he says about you.
No, he was being
cute.
Friendly and funny. It was just
That's Bill.
It was fun. Listen, I enjoy your show, and tell your station manager or whoever to the show's good now, but it was better the first month or two when you first came
Well,
on the
no
air.
question about that, but then they start taking everything away and getting well, he's busy changing underwear right now, but as soon as he finishes, I'll pass the message on. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Unbelievable.
Okay, 11. We got a cart for everything in here. What? Lori Major? No, that has to be a mistake. Isn't it? Hello?
Obviously it is.
Neil?
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
It's not a mistake, but I just had to say something. First, I'm so glad you're able to talk about all this stuff.
Well, I'm sure interested to see this nice description of your house. It's very accurate.
That's what I'm calling about. I was floored when Stan told me last night, but I want your listeners...
Well, you better govern yourself accordingly, Lori.
Absolutely. What I want your listeners to understand one thing, which is really interesting to the extent that this man goes to, all right? That, first of all, Stan did not start living here until after he and I were married, which was March of 88. And
Okay, I'll give you the date of this. It's June 7th, 88.
Okay. And then he was shortly off the air after that, right? This house is in my name. And it's not like you're here all the time. You're welcome here all the time, you know that. But it's not like you're here every day.
I'm never there.
Yeah,
I don't think I've been in your house twice, maybe.
Yeah, you've been here a couple of times, and, we've been over there a couple of times, and Stan goes over very infrequently with no pattern or anything else. And that's what, it just, really got into my gut last night. What an invasion. It really, gives me
That got in your gut. How about this thing about Chicago where we nearly got killed, and here's the evidence in this man's handwriting of these phone calls and the hotel we were staying at, and he calls the overnight, late-night security guy, and God only knows, and we're investigating into all of that right now. But what in the world does this have to do with anything? In other words, we go out of town and it's his business where we're staying?
No, that is just amazing. It is just absolutely incredible.
If the public, they're just beginning to get an inkling of the kind of invasive kind of thing that's been going on here for 2 years, where you practically can't even leave the house.
I know, absolutely. And to know where my house is, that was just like I said that to Stan last night. I go, this house is in my name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you can go look in public records and find that this is Stan Major's house. That's what's really...
Well, you got to understand, most of this doesn't have to do with public records. It has to do with following people. That's what it has to do with.
And license tags?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's, that's interesting enough in itself.
Yeah.
How somebody... just a private person can start pulling all that kind of information.
Well, when you don't have anything else to do, when it's a 20-hour-a-day occupation, I guess you have plenty of time to do these things. And, of course, I'm fascinated by this long list back and forth of telephone conversations with Dennis Collins from WNWS,
that was
which I
real
find very, very embarrassing for them over there.
remember the lunch
To say the
Stan
best.
had with Dennis Collins?
Yes, I do.
And the pumping session about you?
Well, so
on
to
the
speak.
pretense of a job?
Yeah.
Ah.
The information gathering session.
That's it.
Well, nice work, Dennis. You can't beat me on the air in a rating, so you have to try to get me out of the market. Nice work.
Incredible.
Okay.
Well, one thing, Dennis Collins is no J.R. Ewing, because he would have never gotten caught in something like this,
That's
right?
for sure.
Take care, Neil.
Govern yourself accordingly.
I absolutely will.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
11:18 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751 WIOD, and a line in Broward at 524-9463. 524 WIOD. We're just sitting here very casually awaiting the arrival. Look at that. Smeg is still on there. Boy, this is, and look at this. Who's first through the door with the food? But the Arnold family from Arnold's Royal Castle, ladies and gentlemen, with big smiles on their faces, with rings on their nose and bells on their toes. Here they are. Right from Royal Castle. That's great. Well, this will be a good little appetizer for you, John. Get you started, cleanse your palate a little bit. What's in the bag? Oh, my God. Now, I want to tell you something. Spencer said he was coming next week and bringing me cigars. Yeah. But you remember the last cigars you brought me? I smoked them all, and I don't have one cigar in the house, and I was just in need of cigars, and look at that. Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible.
Jamaican, but they're.
Oh, well, I don't want these,
Okay.
What a guy. Thank you, Wayne. That's great. And what is this picture?
Oh, yeah, that's...
It's about those Nelly burgers that they got at Arnold's. That's a sign in the window. There's a little picture for those who don't believe it. And even a little lighter. I'll be damned. Well, how does that work?
How that works.
I'm not too familiar with that kind of stuff. Like a pen, huh?
Right, pull that down.
I'll be
And
damned.
adjust it.
Well, don't waste all my fluid now.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's nice, isn't it? Boy, I bet you could do a lot of interesting things with that. Anyway, it's 20 past 11. If you hear a little commotion in the background, it's because the first wave of food is coming. Now, we should get Sharon in here for some of this because it's her party. Shouldn't we feed her? Wouldn't that be the appropriate thing to do?
Well, I would think so.
Wouldn't that be the Gentile thing to do?
Yeah, Gentile.
Anyway, it's 20 after the hour. We're going to kind of get this all arranged. Johnny over there is just starving, by the way. So give him a little something to keep him from being so... a little Fat Ritz. There's one box for Johnny and Fat Ritz, those Nelly burgers. Anyway, can I talk about Wings Plus while we're... Come on, that's not fair. I just took a bite of this little bacon Nelly burger, you know, and he starts playing that jingle. That's disgusting, Nick. Well, we won't have Nick to kick around anymore starting on Monday, according to the rumor line. That's what Fat Rich told us.
Amazing.
And the bird said Fat Rich is a liar, so I'm not sure whether we should believe it. Here's a mobile in Broward. I bet they're gone, right?
Nope, still here. How you doing?
Now, this is a loyal listener. You've been hanging on for a long time, spending big bucks.
Yeah, well, I have an important thing to tell you. I heard the governor's in town, and I'm really first-time caller, by the way, long-time listener. And if the governor does call you today, I want you to do two things. One, tell him about this lunatic down in Coral Springs. Maybe he could extradite him out of the state. But when you're done your conversation, make sure you tell him to govern himself accordingly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Lunatic in Coral Springs. 26 past 11 at WIOD. Here's a little note. It says, Norm says, good things are happening. Don't mention it on the air. Oh, we have an open line in Broward at 524 WIOD. Oh, good things are happening with my satellite.
Oh.
Isn't that great? Well, yeah, the worm is starting to turn these last couple of days dramatically.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
I guess they got all the papers in, and we're on the agenda, and I'm going to get my permit. I won't have to unplug my dish the day after baseball season ends. Of course, I may want to. Of course, Fat Rich is kind of smug and complacent here today because he knows the Cubs are starting Paul Kilgus this afternoon against the Cardinals, which is an act of sheer insanity, but, we'd like to make it close. Now that we're a game and a half again, we'd like to make it a little bit close, give the Cardinals a fighting chance. And, of course, they're not starting anybody, only McGrain today, so no big deal. Who are the Mets playing? Tidewater? Oh, the Pirates. Boy, Pirates, doesn't it reminds me about that 3-game sweep in New York? The last time the two teams met. Boy, that was, I guess, a bad stroke of luck by the Mets. They should have probably saved some of those runs from yesterday. I bet you Davey Johnson tonight will be thinking, boy, when we lose 4-3 in 10 innings, we should have saved a couple of those runs. Atlanta, is this a joke? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah, are you really in Atlanta, or is this a put-on?
I swear I am.
Well, you'll be, if you stay there long enough, you'll be swearing for a long time, I'll tell you that.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here with all the fakers. You know, there's a lot of fakers here in Atlanta.
A lot of shakers?
Fakers.
Fakers, shakers, and Quakers, yeah.
Not real people. Listen, Bird, are you there?
Yeah.
I'm concerned about something. It's really bothering me.
Really?
Bird bashing. I don't like it.
Now, you're behind the times now. Now everybody loves the bird. We've gotten that out of our system. He had a great call from Greg Budell today. People at Love 94 want to kiss and make up. They love him.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true.
Really?
Yeah, it seems to have all blown over.
Dissipated?
Yeah, dissipated. That was the word.
That's the word.
Do you feel better now?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Now I can go about my thing.
Yeah, they called me from Love 94 and offered an olive branch of peace to me today, which stunned me.
On the air they did this?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Steve Kane has an announcement to make at the beginning of his show. Now, what does that mean?
Uh-oh.
Alex.
Oh, he's going to announce he's not coming in?
By the way, Neil?
Yeah.
On last night on PBS, I seen Alex Bennett on a comedy special here.
Did you really? He was doing a comedy special here for a week, too, I understand.
Yeah, it wasn't very funny.
With no laughs. Mm-hmm.
It sucked. All right, well, that's
you sound pretty depressed. Is it that bad up there?
Well, I got to work all day, and it's hot, and it's humid, and it's terrible, and I don't like being here, but...
I wouldn't go outside on the weekend. They have a lot of lynchings on the weekend up there in Atlanta, you know, and if you're from out of town... See, one thing about... They're not into race anymore. They don't care about that. It's just you can be white, black, or purple, but if they don't like the way you look, they might just pick on you, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I think...
They might have you over for dinner, so to speak.
Yeah, right. I must stand out in the crowd or something to hear.
Do you?
Because every time someone sees me, they say, "Oh, you must be from out of town."
Yeah, it's probably that skirt you've been wearing. You know, I'd change my wardrobe a little bit. Okay, listen, when are you coming back?
I'll be back on Monday for about 6 hours, and then I got to go to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Hey, listen, call us from Biloxi next week. I think we only had 1 or 2 calls from there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay?
Have a nice day.
That's definitely a place you don't want to go outside too much, okay? Even on the weekdays.
Okay, so maybe I should bring a sheet for camouflage.
Absolutely.
Okay, Neil.
And a burning cross. Have a great trip.
Bird, have a nice day, and I'm glad you got things...
Say goodbye, will you?
Hey, Neil, put me on hold for a few...
Oh, jeez. What a pain in the tush, huh? Oh, my...
Did you put him on hold?
Yeah, I put him on hold. Hey,
nice.
we shut him up anyway, didn't we? You don't take that personally, do you, sir?
No.
Okay, hold on. 11:30 at WIOD. Hey, we're working a little on the Royal Castle here. Then Wings Plus is coming in.
What did they?
Sharon actually ate some food, which is... She's got to put some meat on those bones. She looks like she emaciated, isn't she?
A little.
Now, Cheryl used to be that way, too, and then we started force-feeding her here in the studio, and she's starting to fill out a little bit.
It's true.
That's true is right. Boy, these are extra good today, aren't they? The ones with the bacon, the Nelly burgers with the bacon. But I'm not eating any more till later. I'm going to smoke some of these great stogies if I can ever get the box open. Wayne, it was very nice of you to bring these cigars, but they're like hermetically sealed. It's got a nail in it. Have you got something to open that? Good work, Chuck. Those people from Seattle, man, they can open up anything. Like that Green River murderer. Here's a mobile on the Broward line. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Hi.
How you doing?
Whatever happened to the Taft Street Rotisserie? Did they go out of business?
He sold it. Joe sold it.
That's right.
Was just he was doing very well, but it was a lot of work, and he sold it.
Oh, yeah? Is he working somewhere else now?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him. He's a great guy.
That was a great place.
You bet.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, my boss is coming. I'm on the phone, sir.
Yeah, tell him to bug off. Hey, tell him it's...
Are you about to call me an asshole?
All right. That's the way to tell him. Good job, sir. Don't take any flack from those bosses. 11:32. That is a tough. Look at that phone now. Boy, they are thinning out like crazy, like my hairline.
Look at that hotline.
Yeah, no fill. Broward went completely empty, and we have an open line. We got 4 stinking calls. We've been doing great, and I thought, hey, the audience finally came back. We recovered from Alex Bennett. What are you guys doing? That is disgusting. They're fighting over cheeseburgers. Do you know there's a whole box over here that isn't even touched yet?
Yeah, we only
There's
have
another whole box, and I'm not having any more. I had 2, I think, didn't I? I had 2. And then I'll have a little Wings Plus, some celery and cheese probably, nothing fattening. And I'll have some of these great cigars if I can ever get it lit. All 3 Broward lines as dead as the proverbial doornail, huh? Boy, you get the feeling this audience is really, really behind us, don't you? Like they couldn't give a damn less. They could be firebombing our cars in a parking lot, and they'd, oh, we don't care, and you don't. This is the town that cared enough not to care at all. I'm going to get... Wayne, it was nice of you to get me this great lighter, but I don't know how... Oh, there it is. Ooh, but how's it go out?
Well, we'll worry about that later.
This cigar, it's a great cigar, but I punched a hole. I don't have one of those things that just... And I can't get anything out of it. Oh, there we go. Air. Here, kill some time, would you?
Oh, hold on a minute. Gee,
He did as good as I did.
Yeah, I feel like Johnny at
we didn't need you. Johnny was there and did the same thing.
Yeah, hi. It's 11:41.
All right.
I don't know the temperature, but
I don't think I got this thing fully lit.
What?
Well, these cigars, you have to have one of those reamers.
Careful now. Be careful.
No, seriously, haven't you ever seen a cigar reamer? It's a thing... Huh?
Be careful. I'm nervous.
You're sick. You're really sick.
I got real nervous when
you know about cigars. I could put in my pipe and smoke it. Miami, hello.
Yeah, Neil, this is a matter of public record, so we can go and get the document at the courthouse, right?
What?
The document that you have?
Document?
Yeah,
There are like 50,000 pages, sir.
No, because I just want to see, because we can go see it at the courthouse, because I work downtown.
Yeah.
Just to see what a real imbecile this guy is.
You're doing all the talking, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real shame that, that you provide so much joy to all of us that this guy's going to try to ruin you.
I don't provide any joy to you, sir. Don't use terms like that, because then they'll be twisted and misrepresented.
I mean, joy...
I think you're fantasizing now. I think you're letting your emotions get you carried away.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you, without you, the day would be empty, at work.
Without me, the day would be... It wouldn't even be worth getting out of bed in this town, would it?
Well, not that much, but...
But a little bit. What was that?
Oh, I'm sending faxes.
Huh?
I'm sending faxes. I'm faxing reports.
Oh, you're sending faxes?
Yeah, I'm faxing reports.
Well, excuse me. Anything good?
No, just reports to the different cities in our
just a bunch of boring bureaucratic crap, huh?
Yeah, well...
Well, how do you like the good news? They got my satellite dishes on the verge of being approved now. Everything's kosher, and the paperwork is in there, and...
Well,
isn't that great?
My uncle owns a satellite dish, and I go over his house just to watch the satellite dish, not to see him.
Yeah, he called the other day and said he wished you'd stay the hell out of there, by the way. Well, listen, have a great weekend.
You too.
And govern yourself accordingly now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And look at this. This is great. We're just through digesting. We cleansed our palate with the Arnold's Royal Castle burgers and the birch beer, and everything's great. And now Wings Plus is here with one of the main courses, and Sharon's got a grin on her face from ear to ear.
She does.
And Johnny Dark is as active as I've seen him in a very long time, bouncing around here like he knows what's going on. There's that Italian sub, boy, with those spicy cold cuts. I love those. And some more soda just in case we run out of birch beer. Look at that. Johnny says, this public stuff was good, but let's get it the hell out of here and make room for the... Boy, he is... I'm serious. I've never seen him exert this much energy in such a short period of time. Running around here like he knows what he's doing. It's kind of like Disney. And there's that celery that we can make a lot of noise with on the air.
Oh, great. I like to do that, upset people.
And I bet you those are... tons and tons of, I don't want to say it. Oh, that's blue cheese, of course. Boy, there's enough blue cheese in there to sink the Queen Mary, I'll tell you. And I'm sure loads of wings and all kinds of great. Boy, this is great, isn't it? And we want Sharon what we should do is make her eat all of it, Since it is her last day, we should force feed all of it and make her eat every drop. And I bet you I might just have a couple of those wings, guys. It's... trying to, oh boy, those are my favorite. Just loaded with the extra garlic, just really loaded with those little garlic pieces on them. That's what does it for me, those little pieces of garlic that get in your throat. Oh, yeah, now one of those, by the way, is for Sharon and Mitch, okay?
Oh.
I mean, Cheryl. Cheryl and Mitch. I'm getting everybody confused now. And there are those great mushrooms. Now, for some reason, I never get the mushrooms because those go so fast. I think I've had 3 of those in all the weeks they've been bringing food. I think I've had 2 or 3 of those great breaded mushrooms because they just disappear. And there's a little salad there. That'll sit there for a long time. And no, it's good, but you know these people here. Anything that looks healthy, they just run for it. 11:45 at WIOD. The Palm Beach line is open. I just mentioned that because we're desperately trying to keep these lines filled today, keep some momentum. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Have a great weekend. Well, can I have a piece of celery, Rich? Can you, Johnny? Thank you so much. No, not yet. Well, I just want to make some noise. Because it's really bad radio. Ooh. Boy, this is... Now, come on, Sharon. I'm calling you Cheryl and her Sharon now. No, she's not that skinny. She's starting to eat a little bit. Okay, Cheryl, we got your sandwich down here for you and Mitch. Now, I don't understand one thing. If Mitch won't eat the Castle Burgers with the cheese, how come he's eating the steak and cheese sandwich? Huh?
Typical.
And these are people that went to the Middle East on their, what? Here we go, and even little Laura, who's expecting any day now, has come in here. Did you tell Scott goodbye? Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that on the air. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I wasn't supposed to. That's it right there. There's the steak and cheese for you guys, okay? And it came straight in from Wings Plus by way of Eli's in Chicago. Here's their number, by the way, in case you like to call for carryout. Okay, looks extra good today, too. It's got tomato on there. And No, do I want some? Look at this spread. And we already had the Castle Burgers to cleanse our palates, okay, and get us ready for this. Isn't Roger eating? Oh, Roger had that sack of burgers, that's right. He gets it, and there's always a $100 bill at the bottom of the bag. I don't know what he and Wayne have got going on there, but it's just a joke, Jack, okay? It's not for real. There's no money coming in.
Good
Boy,
heavens.
well, you can't be too careful when you're dealing with... oh, here's a call from Chicago. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
This is Lenny, a Cubs fan and a Bush fan.
Okay, we're really doing it, Lenny.
Well, I'm half a block away from Wrigley over at Slugger's Bar. They've got a bunch of batting cages up here. We're getting ready for the big one.
Well, listen, you got a pencil and paper?
I got a pen.
Because there's some license plate numbers around the ballpark we want you to write down for us a little later on.
Oh, okay.
So we can check them out.
Is it okay if I write on the bathroom wall?
Now, listen, Paul Kilgus isn't really pitching today, is he? Isn't that a joke?
He's beaten the Cards twice this year.
Well, yeah, but that was earlier when he was taking his vitamins or something, you know? That was real early in the season.
Well, now they've got him on Budweiser, so we're in good shape.
Okay, now I feel more confident.
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a good game yesterday. Bilecki made a little comeback. He had a little problem there in the sixth inning, but he's looking a little better.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Rounding back into form, and now if we can just get Maddox and Sutcliffe straightened out.
Yeah, Maddox goes tomorrow.
Lancaster looked really... Maddox isn't pitching tomorrow. Sutcliffe's pitching tomorrow.
Maddox on Sunday.
Right, you got it.
Yep.
Well, listen, all we need to do is take 2 out of 3, and we'll be in great shape.
We're going for 3 out of 3.
Well, I like that.
We're going for the next 6 up here.
Oh, boy, those next 6, that's the whole season right there. You realize that, don't you?
You got it. I got tickets for Monday also against Montreal.
Excellent. Well,
I tried to call you twice from Wrigley.
I'm telling you, as soon as I leave here, I'm flying home to see that ball game, and I'll be just making a lot of noise in my house.
You got it.
Some of which we can't repeat on the air. Okay, good luck, Lenny. Bring him home.
Neil?
Yeah.
I called you a couple months ago in Fort Lauderdale. I'm the one that goes to Shipshewana, right near Howell.
Uh-huh.
And I just wanted you to know, I told you I'd call you when I get up here.
Great.
So we're heading over there, and going to take 3 today.
Excellent.
Tomorrow and Sunday, and 3 against Montreal.
Well, I'll be watching every second. Thanks, Lenny.
For all you Mets fans.
Okay.
Okay, take care, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, that was kind of a little shot there, but I guess well-deserved. Mets, of course, gloating after the 13-1 win yesterday. But they're still, for some reason, in 4th place. Last time I looked, 3.5 games back with only 22 to go. Come on, guys, just dig right in here. It's Sharon's birthday party. Going-away party. Oh, I got a mushroom. Oh, those are good. No wonder those go so fast, huh? From Wings Plus. I don't have any spot or anything to do here, do I? No, we're just going to do the break, and we'll fill our face, and you folks out there can be real jealous and get in the mood for having a little bit of lunch. It's 11 till noon at Rudy into the food now.
That's shocking.
That guy's already at Calder, and he's there with empty-handed.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
On his own.
What do you want, Veg?
Listen, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in ages. It's unbelievable.
Thank God. No wonder I felt a little better the last couple of weeks.
Listen, I got a couple reports, actually, for you.
Oh, this is so good today. What is this? What did they put on this?
Hey, guys, come on. I got some decent reports here. Okay, first off, guess what? The Strikers won in the championships. Hello?
Jeff Stryker won the championship? What kind of a contest was it?
No, I said the Fort Lauderdale Strikers.
Well, that's great.
They won.
We're very happy for them and for you.
And guess who's coming in concert? Of course, Elton John. You must know that already.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Is he? I bet we can get some tickets for Joe down in Florida.
you know, tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Great.
So what do you think? Can they give away any tickets on the radio or what?
Mm-mm.
No.
Bill Wise will give them away.
Oh.
To all his friends.
Are you going to be going to the concert?
Of course, he doesn't have any friends, so I guess that kind of leaves that out. No, I'm not going to the concert. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute now, okay?
Okay.
We got a very important call. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hello?
What happened?
Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Well, we sure got a mess on this phone. Yes, sir.
Hello?
This is the call we've been waiting for with bated breath.
Neil.
Yes.
I was getting out of my car, entering the Calder parking lot, when I heard you mention the fact that Bob Martinez looks a lot like Bela Lugosi.
Uh-huh.
You were right. They have so much in common. They both suck. And it really struck a chord.
I've got news for you. That's the first funny line you've ever come up with.
Well, I keep trying. I will tell you this. Bob Martinez has done so much for racing that you could tell why we're 20 years behind the
on
rest of
death's door, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's certainly an expert. He knows a lot about it.
Listen,
he knows
by the
about
way,
as much about racing as he does about running the state. By the way, listen, I hate to keep interrupting, but an old friend of yours called and left a message just before you punched him. You wouldn't believe it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Loan me $50.
Oh, Larry. Sweet Larry.
Yeah, what a guy, huh? What a kidder.
What a guy. Anyhow, I called because I got up to my office, I turned on the radio, and I heard you saying to Glenn, Phil hasn't called. And I didn't know. Had you requested a call? Was there something about
Well, a guy called in. It's too late now. The guy's really probably going to blow his brains up. But he was on his way to the track, and he said, have you got anything today? And we hadn't had time to look at the entries. And I said, I'll tell you what, we've never done this before, but we'll put Phil on the spot, and he'll surely be listening right now, and he'll call right in and give you a horse today.
I must have been walking through the parking lot when it happened.
Yeah,
but
sure.
If they want, I'll give him a horse.
Yeah.
Sure. Try me, Melissa, in the 6th.
Okay. I got a better one than that. Big Joey with Mike Gonzalez.
You're a day late and a dollar
I know.
short, my friend.
I know. $21, huh?
Yeah.
And the Bird's horse came in second, and there was a $61 perfecta there.
Mm-hmm. Mike rode him like he was Arcaro. Came in on the rails, saved all the ground, and
that's my Mike Gonzalez for you there.
Yeah,
just stick
really
with
rode
Mike.
a great race with that horse. Anyway, so you guys aren't picking any horses today?
No.
Uh-huh.
No,
All right. Well, there's always Monday, Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, no, Wednesday, right.
Yeah, whatever day it is.
Right, whatever.
Well, there's always Sunday. I don't think I'm going to get out there this weekend because I forgot that the Cubs-Cardinals games are all day games, and I have a feeling that I just may have to forego the track.
I see.
I may have to forego it, as Heliodoro Justinas would have said.
Right. Well, if you don't make it, then I guess we'll see you the weekend
the
after.
following weekend, no question about it.
All right, guys.
Save me a seat.
Take care, and I'll talk to you next week.
You hear what I said?
What?
Save me a seat.
You got
See you later.
You got it, Ben.
Bye. Well, he did eventually call in, but, he's had a rough life, 3 minutes till noon at WIOD. Oh, yeah, and Veggie was on. Boy, you have more problems when you call, don't
Isn't
you?
it? I mean, God, and I was nice enough to stay on.
Well, that was an important call, though, wasn't it?
It was very important.
Phil was touting on the air. Trick he learned from his old friend Hank Goldberg.
Yeah. Well, I just called to give you a few of those things that went on and just saying hi and saying I'm still alive.
Oh, so in other words, you were done anyway.
Oh, well, actually, I was just saying, hey, I'm still alive and still listening to you guys.
Great.
So I'll be talking to you next month.
And about a month from Sukkot would be a real good day to call in.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, wasn't that great? He didn't overdo the welcome today. I guess he understands. He knows the lay of the land. Anyway, in the noon to 1 hour, we're going to be reading about 300 letters from Jack's collection here. Letters to everybody in the business. Several letters to Dennis Collins in there. I find it fascinating, by the way. We're not going to be reading letters today, Jack, so just chill out. But, no, most of the letters he signs J.B. Thompson with that very distinct handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
The letters he writes to Dennis Collins, he signs Jack.
Really? Like they're real
buddies.
Close friends.
Well, I guess it coincides with all those phone calls going back and forth, too. So I guess the philosophy of W. Snooze, we can't beat him, so let's get him off the air. That's the Dennis Collins philosophy at WOLD. See, if I were general manager of a station in the market and word got out that I was consorting or communicating on a fairly regular basis back and forth with somebody of this ilk, I'd be embarrassed, humiliated, and degraded. I couldn't even face the employees. I'd probably go into the closet, so to speak, and shut the door, never come out again. You know what I mean, Dennis? I was going to say it's kind of embarrassing, but when you're used to the books that they get, the embarrassment factor has to be so great before it starts sinking in. You know, it doesn't make any difference, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like their demographics, and we're going to be all getting our pollen out after the newscast, just in honor of them. Chuck Myers got the 1 o'clock news, but he's going to bring it to you at noon, and then we'll come back at 12:05.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more. Oh, what you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more. Oh, Jackie, what could you mean? How could you think this show's obscene? And if you think because you say so, that they're just gonna can this show, hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more. Oh, what'd you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more. Now listen good, mister, so you understand. You ain't nothing, you're just one man. Don't care how you feel, cause you're so vile. If you don't wanna listen, just turn that dial. If you think because you say so, they're just gonna can this show. But hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you attack no more. Oh, what'd you say? Don't you attack no more. Say it again. Don't you attack no more. Are you serious? Don't you attack no more. Come on, don't you attack no more. How am I supposed to make a list? Don't you attack no more. You know what? Don't you attack no more. Oh, come on. Don't you attack no more.
All right, Jay, that was great, but enough is enough. 12:07 at WIOD. Look at that phone, boy. They sure drop off during that noon news, don't they? They really just go nuts. Well, it's about something exciting. Oh, can we tell this now?
Yeah. No, don't tell this.
What? Well, no, Steve has some. I'll let you do it. He's got some very exciting, positive news. Thank goodness at 2 o'clock. Great thing happened. And then you'll understand why he's been, like, kind of in and out the last couple of days. But as it always does in the end, Jack, justice prevails. You know what I'm saying? So govern yourselves accordingly, yeah. Dennis and Jack and Mike and all our good friends out there in Radioland. Oh, now, did you were busy, so you didn't hear about the letter? Well, it's not a letter, about this page about when we were in Chicago that weekend. No, what and it has, well, it's interesting because here's Eli's. Now, I mentioned people were calling in when I did that show, and they were saying, hey, you got to eat at this place, you got to eat here. Eli's was a very great steakhouse, which we didn't get to, but the day I did the show, listen to this, very important. Day I did the show, somebody called in and said, you got to try Eli's. And I said, oh, that's right across from our hotel. Well, our dear friend Jack got Eli's number and then got a list of all the hotels that are in the area right there by Eli's, and sure enough, here is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which is where we were staying, and then called this individual whose name is here in security. And wouldn't you know, just by coincidence, and again, I'm not suggesting anything, I'm just saying, in bizarre coincidence, the next day we had that episode and nearly got killed in our rent-a-car. So you see, when you keep, and of course this has a lot to do with what's on the air on the station, doesn't it? Where we were staying in Chicago and nosing around and playing Sherlock Holmes. This has nothing to do with anything, and it's certainly none of his business or anyone else's. But when you start messing around enough, and then of course something happens, then people are going to put 2 and 2 together and start assuming things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think perhaps our friend is just overstepping his bounds to the point where who knows what's going on. Well, yes, not, of course, to mention all of these contacts with Dennis. Right? Huh?
You're talking about the jail thing from yesterday, right? That now if he does his thing, jail?
Oh, well, that's another thing, yeah. But I guess we better all govern ourselves accordingly. We do have some open lines on the board now. One in Broward at 524-WIOD, and Boca and Palm Beach are as dead as the proverbial doornail.
You haven't eaten in 3 days?
Thank goodness. Now he's got his healthy appetite back. Well, everything worked out.
See, there's nothing after a great meal like a great cigar.
Just stick with Norm. Just stick with Norm Kent. I'm telling you, if you would just listen to his radio show, you'd pick it up just from that show. That show is so brilliant. You can perceive that anything you hand over to him, he'll handle with brilliance and aplomb.
You're talking about all that talent under one roof yesterday.
Yeah, all the three. There we were in that courthouse. And there were the three greatest talk hosts in the history of broadcasting, all in one building at the same time.
Okay, now you
Neil
were
Rogers, Steve Kane, and Norman Elliott Kent. It was shocking. It really was. In fact, they brought in extra security because they thought talk radio would never be the same.
Something happened in between all of us. We had.
Oh, my God. That's right. 500,000 listeners and 2. And Norm said, I've got at least 3 or 4 because my friends listen. And I said, Norm, I know you don't have any friends, so cut the crap. Anyway, it's 12:13 at WIOD, and Steve is just eating like he never saw food before.
It's true.
Boy.
He says first time in 3 days.
Well,
he
that's
says,
great. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
By the way, Possibilities is bringing in tons of food to our remote at Specs this Wednesday. It says... Boy, Rich is grinning from earlobe to earlobe. They'll have loads of sampler items, pastas, pasta salads, and everything that's ever been invented, okay? So that's all the more reason. Now, is that for the crowd or is that just for Rich? You'll have to come by and find out for yourselves. And Dion's going to be there, too. I know we'll feed Dion. Miami, hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheap cigars and bad radio, I'm glad Steve is there. I was listening yesterday, turn on my car radio in the afternoon, and there's Stan, right?
Oh, now you're going to not start ripping Stan, are you?
No,
I mean, I realize the show wasn't much, but you're not going to start ripping him, are you?
No, that's not
Because he was over to the house last night, and I promised him his birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to take him to dinner.
That's not why I'm calling.
In fact, he invited me to take him to dinner. I didn't say it. It wasn't my idea.
No, Neil, honestly, I'm not calling to rip him, but the thing that is amazing... How did all the juniors know, since it wasn't advertised, every junior in the world that ever called him called yesterday?
Oh, that's the junior computer pipelines here. They have a computer thing, a chip that they put in their computers, and anytime Stan is on the air anywhere, that immediately sends an alarm off.
It's amazing. And but one thing I do want a little spy report. He did go through the garbage yesterday and found that article about the Chicago AM station that's going talk.
Yeah, I threw that. He mentioned to me last night that he saw it, and I thought to myself, gee, I threw that in the wastebasket. How did I? So he was so desperate, he was digging in the garbage.
Well, there's
for
something
material.
I wanted to say. What his comment was that how that station went and hired every single nobody and lousy talk show host in the country.
Yeah.
Stan, if you're listening, not everyone. And that's, believe me, that's no put down or nothing of it. Anyway, listen, the best of those tapes, you've got to start doing it immediately, of those letters. I was hysterical when you were reading those letters. You got to do it.
Okay, well, listen, I only have enough here to last till 2 years from Sukkot, so I'll see what we can do.
All right, one thing, though, Howie, Myron, and Andy are all nickheads, and this is the last day we can call people nickheads.
Okay.
And govern yourself accordingly.
Bye.
You read
What?
them in the air?
Well, I've been reading a lot of this stuff. This is all public stuff now, because it's public record. Well, I read the one that he wrote to you. You didn't hear that? What did I do that? No, this was about... that I said something about you showered in front of your daughters or something. Here's the one to Greg Budell. And here's a phone call to Dennis Collins, 11/10/88. There's also a little, he's got these little notes in here, and one of the notes said he couldn't sleep on November 2nd because he was worried about what I would say on your show. Remember I came on your show before I started working here? Yeah. And here's a little note. Remember Joe with 3 N's, our friend Joe out there? Who's, by the way, Jack, Joe is like 22 years old, okay? I guess that's still not old enough. How old does somebody have to be before they can come in the studio? I mean, I'm not saying that I would old enough to do something with them, because that has to be over 80. I already know that, Jack, all right? But, I mean, just to look at them and talk about it, they got to be like 40, 50?
You know what I'm interested in? Why is he talking to my old boss, Dennis Collins from WOLD?
I don't know, but there's sure a lot of conversations back and forth, and there are letters.
Suggesting that there is a relationship here?
Well, for example, November 7th, 88, which is the day I started on WIOD, it says Dennis Collins was talking into my machine from his car phone. And goes on. I mentioned that earlier, but it certainly bears mentioning again, because there seems to be this somewhat incestuous relationship between... And then here, Neil's home, April 1st, Harlan and Bob were there. Jack was busy outside surveying. Tag information request. Well, you were in court yesterday. You heard about these, about this police investigation that Jack was conducting, even though, of course, he's not a member of law enforcement. But it's fascinating. But the best one of all, though, was about the Hollywood movie theater, though. No, that's my favorite.
I got a copy from Norm of a letter he sent talking about how he had written Janet Reno
seek
for relief. Okay, and Norm pointed out to him, it's interesting that you would expect relief from a lady who you falsely accused of being a lesbian during the
Did Jack say
political
that?
campaign. Didn't you? Of course.
Oh, my God. Anyway, March 14th, 89, Detective Murray. You remember that thing that was, in fact, Norm was here on the show. We talked about that Hollywood, that terrible, dirty theater with all those movies that you enjoy.
Jack had anything to do with
Well,
that.
no, but he did talk to Detective Murray, of course, from the Hollywood Police, the Vice Pigs. And it says, Hollywood, Rogers is known at theater for trying to pick up guys in theater and bathroom.
Oh, my God.
Now, I must say, that's a technique I've never learned yet, although certainly I'll think about working on it.
Does that imply that Jack has been surveying bathrooms?
Well, listen, and then it says, semen drips down theater seats and was when Murray was there. Now, I want you
He's been doing a close-up homework inspection on
up close and personal. I mean, even Maurice Safer wouldn't do investigative reporting like that, would he?
Well, one thing you got to say about Jack, he's thorough.
Well,
I don't know if that's the word or not.
incredible. Anyway, it's 12:19 at W, whatever it is. And, well, listen, I'm going to give you my itinerary. This weekend I'm going to Key West, and there's this gay bar there. They got this gigantic restroom, okay? It's incredible. It's the size of Mount Rushmore.
Can you give the phone number for Jack?
Well, no, as a matter of fact, I found somebody's phone number on the wall there. It was embarrassing. Coconut Creek, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Neil, I called you the other day.
Well, isn't that something?
It's amazing. I could dial that fast. But anyway, I left out something I was going to tell one of my friends, which is an acquaintance of yours, Rodney. He's listening and tacking up his horse right now.
Rodney's an idiot, sir.
Rodney is an idiot? Well, that's an understatement, of course.
Correct.
But I'd like to call him and a couple of other outriders douchebags of the most severe kind.
Okay.
And
Well, that's a new movie coming out, Douchebags of the Third Kind.
And he is also a unique kind of guy.
Really? Well, it sounds like we got more investigating going on. Boy, a lot of investigators in this town. You all better govern yourselves.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you so much. I can't believe Phil had a line today. Can you believe that?
First one
I've
ever.
never heard Phil Saltzman
First
crack
one
a
ever.
really hysterical line, but that was pretty good. He said that Governor Martinez not only looks like Bela Lugosi, but he has something else in common. They both suck, which I thought was excellent. Anyway, we got the cigars here, and everybody's in a good mood. And Steve is chain eating here, like, oh, and I got another cigar. That's right, from Steve. Well, this is just a little one. Well, I don't mean that literally, but anyway, we want to. I got to find that letter that he wrote to you on February 13th, 1988.
Busy day.
February 13th. He was writing
Yeah.
to Gregory Benjamin. Also, I can't find him, but I'll find him over the weekend. I'll redig through here and put him in order.
Great.
There are some letters to Rick Shaw. And there's one where he thinks Rick Shaw is the Rick of Rick and Spuds. And he says, Dear Mr. Shaw, I'm paraphrasing now, Jack. You'll have to excuse me, but I can't find it right at the moment. He says, Rogers this morning said that you and Spuds are homosexual lovers, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not Ricky Ticky, you dummy. Come on, Jack, you got to get your Rick right. You know what I'm saying? He's got all his Ricks confused. 21 past noon at WIOD Toyota. One moment, please.
You've the stack of paper. It's like swamped you.
February 13th, 1988. Boy, that's that same day. He was a busy
Big
child
day.
on that day, wasn't
Big
he?
day.
A busy camp.
Motown Record Corporation, Hollywood, California. Ray the Temptations. Dear Motown. And this is for all the listeners who were, wondering why they couldn't hear that Stan Major theme song. That was the best thing Jay Michaels ever did in his life.
On
Okay?
INC, yeah.
And it's common practice in the industry to do song parodies. Nobody gives a damn, you know. Dear Motown. Not dear anybody in particular, but dear Motown. Guy Gannett Publishing Company of Portland, Maine owns 2 radio stations in Miami, WINZ and Zeta. These 2 stations have been playing My Girl, originally sung by the Temptations and written by Smokey Robinson, but set to different lyrics. The new song is used as a theme song for Stan Major, a talk show host on WINZ. I doubt Motown has authorized alteration of the lyrics of this great hit. I have tapes of this song as played on the air. I strongly suggest you contact me before relying upon any insurances that their lawyer or his clients might give you. Sincerely. Then there's another great letter about to George Steinbrenner at the end. He says, P.S. I wish the Yankees best of luck in their pennant stretch drive this year. I guess it didn't help last year. It seems to me they didn't quite make it, did they? But
I don't know how Jack has time to see any games.
Well, no, he didn't. He just wished him luck just to kind of add a little syrup to the ointment there. Okay, we got a lot of open lines here, folks. This is your last chance. It's either you call in now or we're going to eat celery on the air for the last hour and a half, okay? That's your choice. What is that? Oh, from 2 to 6 p.m. Oh, the parents of murdered children's been postponed until Monday.
Until Monday.
Okay, well, we didn't want to get you too depressed for over the weekend, so we're saving that one for Monday on Steve's show. And then today, PMS, a killer, 2 women whose problems with premenstrual syndrome nearly led them to murder, plus Dr. Gail Brown of the Florida PMS Clinic. And Alice, on Monday morning when he returns from vacation, has got BMS, which is another South Florida syndrome that his audience can relate to. Okay, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking, after hearing these things about your friend Jack, that maybe he's just going out of his way to cover up his own little problems by picking on you.
You don't think so, do you? Think he's got problems?
I think he's probably a closet queen and just probably going out of his way to prove just how macho he is by picking on you. Or maybe it's the Jodie Foster syndrome. Maybe you should start watching over your shoulder. Maybe he's going to come to your house some night in the middle of the night.
Well, if he comes to my house, the judge said yesterday that he's going to get his ass arrested, so I don't think he ought to come anywhere near my house.
Well, let's hope he does, because he needs to be arrested. He needs to put away.
Well, he needs some airing out, I'll tell you that. He needs a long rest somewhere.
Absolutely true.
Okay, sir.
Thanks, Neil.
Govern yourself.
You know, it's an interesting question. As Jack records and listens to this, do you think, as these things come out over the air...
You don't think he's listening today, do you?
Well,
monitoring.
Can I ask you this?
Yes.
What else would he do?
Well, he's got a lot of correspondence to catch up on.
But do you think as he listens to these, these factual things he's written come out over there, do you think he is embarrassed by that?
No. No, he's outraged because he just as sure as could be that we're twisting and distorting. And, of course, he would be an expert at twisting and distorting because that's what he does to everything that I say on the air, and he's been doing it for over 2 years now. But the bloom is off the rose, as Steve would say. And, Jack, you're just going to have to get used to it because this is only the beginning. We're going to discuss it any damn time we feel like it. And all of this stuff is a matter of public record. We're going to get some good Holly Ridge Strings music to play in the background as every day we'll have the best of Jack and read some of these letters on the air.
Actually, I think it makes great radio.
Yeah. Oh, some of these are just incredible.
Almost as good as eating.
No,
Almost.
No, that's pretty bad radio. Oh, man, some of these will take a while, too. It'll kill some good time. We won't have to worry about these stinking phone calls. Here's a mobile on the Palm Beach line. Hello.
Hey, how you doing today?
Great.
Good lunch, huh?
Oh, yeah, excellent lunches today.
Well, did you go to Finger Lakes?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact, and they still had those same crippled horses running. It was great.
Is Rudy still there?
Yeah, they're all there.
Uh-huh. You go to the Trotters while you're up north?
Yeah, I went to Batavia Downs. They're all still there, too. David Vance and... all those people, Robbie Rankin, the whole bunch, they're still up there in Batavia.
And I got the Daily News last week, and I'm looking at the results from Yonkers, and there's Mac Lobel. I thought he was a stud.
Well, he was for a while in Europe, and then they brought him back to racing again. I wish they would have retired him, because I think they're really pushing their luck at this point. He has nothing left to prove, but they're still racing him.
The trot was like $250,000 trot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you didn't get down to Norwich?
To Norwich?
Sure.
Where the hell is that?
My hometown. I thought you knew all the cities in New York.
I never heard of Norwich.
Down towards Binghamton? Hamilton? Earlville?
No.
Dearborn? Norwich?
No, I mean, I know Binghamton and I know Ithaca, but that southern tier down there, that's kind of like foreign country to me. I don't know too much. I know more like Lackawanna and Batavia and Leroy and...
Pocono.
Tonawanda, and no, not Pocono.
Monticello.
No, see, that's not upstate New York. That's down by New York almost.
Uh-huh.
That's in the Catskills.
Oswego.
There
you go.
Oneonta. Verona.
Cooperstown.
Yeah. Well, listen, have a great day, sir, because I'm about ready to go into a coma. 29 past noon. Sounded like he was going to break into a chorus of the Jewish Poconos there for a second, didn't it?
Is he done reciting?
He's done.
Names?
Got it, baby. You got it.
The thing about that card I like the best is that it's so muffled, you know?
I know, it's perfect.
So it would fit on almost any station in the market. Like if you heard it on WOLD with that muddy sound of theirs, it would fit right in with no problem. Okay, open line in Boca, 278-9463, and one in Palm Beach at 655-WIOD, where Lee Fowler is really setting that town on fire. Isn't he? He's kind of like Mrs. Murphy's cow or whatever that was. Here's a mobile in Dade County. Hello.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Okay, Joe.
Hey, listen, I have a question.
Nick.
Jack Thompson, I don't see him in the phone book anywhere.
What do you want, sir?
Does he exist?
Yes.
Well, I was looking...
Why would you be looking in the phone book?
Well, I needed to find out whether the guy existed.
Yeah, he exists, sir, but I'm afraid you don't. We have an open line in Dade County, 751-946-9463. 751-WIOD, Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. Did you mention who is the guest on the Ellis Rubin show today?
The Ellis Rubin Show.
Yes.
Who is it?
Oh, I don't know. I was wondering.
Oh, man, we got a bunch of pin brains here this hour.
What happened?
We were going along just fine. We finished lunch, I think, was our mistake. And all these would-be comedians are calling in auditioning now, okay? It's like the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Or Major Bose. Johnny's old enough to remember Major Bose. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Actually, it's in Morro Gables.
Well, thank God for that.
Absolutely. I never.
You better watch where you're driving down there now.
I'm taking my license plates off. I don't want to be monitored.
Exactly.
I mean, he may find out that I'm the Duke, and oh my God, you know what I'm saying?
You better give us that license plate number so we can check it out.
Okay. I just never knew that there was a place in upstate New York called Oneonta.
Yeah.
I've Oneonta for years.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, in fact, Fat Rich is from there.
I just think that, maybe like an hour.
Oneonta.
About an hour and a half, maybe a day would be perfect for the Jack Chronicles. How about that, Neil?
I don't know if we could get it in an hour and a half.
Well, we'll do our best.
This is the most entertaining I've heard. Not that you're not always entertaining, Neil, but you know.
Well, I'll tell you, once we get into some of these letters, boy, you talk about entertaining, talk about a livid imagination, man. It'll just open up new horizons for you.
Well, this is definitely plays into the heart of most people today with the new TV scandal shows that they have. Now you're doing it on radio for us. It's wonderful. It's like E.T. tonight.
Now, what do you think about that Dennis Collins at WNWS? What do you think he's going to have to say for himself when we take his deposition in a few days?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be there for that.
Me too.
Are you going to serve lunch? I'll come too.
Yeah, we got something special we're going to serve Dennis.
Pardon the expression.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, see you in Oneonta.
Well, don't forget to be true to your shul this weekend, Neil.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Boy, a little hyper there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a duker.
1232 at WIOD.
You're not suggesting there's more than one or two contacts with Dennis Collins, right?
Numerous. Too numerous to mention.
100 or 200?
And that's only in this stack. I haven't gotten to the other 45 billion pages in the other room there yet.
Does it sound like a conspiracy?
But I will. I didn't say that. See, now, I think you ought to just kind of remove yourself from all of this and just
It was
cool
a question.
I would never allege such a thing because I don't think that Dennis, as desperate as his ratings are and as geriatric as his demographics are and as tenuous as his job probably is with Jefferson Pilot, I don't imagine that Dennis would ever stoop to such a level because the things that I hear about him would indicate that he might.
Well, that's why, you see, I would never say anything like that because what I've learned on the air is our job is to ask questions. We're not there to give
No, we're not here to try to
questions.
Jump to contusions like Jack does and try to put 2 and 2 together and get 87. We're here to try to probe what's going on out there in radio land and try to open your mind. What?
Probe. You can't say that.
I'm trying to think of another alternate term, but there aren't any. There's several that came to mind, but also in the same category. Could easily be misunderstood by Al Sykes up at the FCC in Washington and all these other great bureaucrats who are listening very, very carefully to see who's naughty and who's not. And of course, we know that there are a lot of great liberals like Jesse Helms and people of this ilk who are really very concerned that they want to keep everything. In fact, we could play Tinkerbell every day for 24 hours and probably still be in a certain degree of trouble.
Absolutely. No question.
Tinkerbell?
Well, you know what that tinker means.
I understand. I know. First of all,
those terms.
First of all, Tinkerbell's a fairy to begin with.
That's correct. That is correct. Well, I guess Rick and Spuds are out of the closet after all. 1234 at WIOD. We do have an opening in Boca. Man, Nick is doing a hell of a business on that bat line today. I got news for you. He is taking orders so fast. 278-9463 is that Boca number. We desperately want to hear from Boca and Del Rey because, oh, look at that. Is this the men's tennis? Oh, that was Martina. I'm sorry. 37 at WIOD. We have an open line in Palm Beach. I feel like I've said that so many times since I came back. And, of course, Harvey Bennett. What was his name?
Who?
Alex Marshall?
Alex Bennett.
Alex Trebek, who did that show. It's going to take me a good 2 weeks to get the audience back. No, you think I'm joking. I'm serious. It's going to take me 2 solid weeks to get the whole audience back. It's improving as each day goes by. But he must have blown a good 90% of the audience right out the window. He was great, wasn't he?
That happens every time you go on vacation, don't you notice that?
No, about 80%.
What are
usually.
you saying?
When he does it, it's about 80%.
What happens when I go on? No, I don't mean. No, what? No.
Yeah, well, he does it when I go on vacation.
No, I didn't. You took it wrong. You're paranoid.
Oh, I took it wrong.
No,
now,
what I meant. Now you want to know what I meant? Can I tell you what I meant?
I didn't take anything wrong. Yeah, I know what you said.
Well, let me tell you what I meant. All right, take it back. No, what I meant was that I meant to imply that every time I go on vacation and, the guest host sit in, it takes me like a week to get everybody back was what I meant. I didn't mean you.
Well.
You never sit in for me. I was talking about myself.
Oh, yourself. You didn't say that.
Well, now, wait a minute. What about after yesterday?
Well, we'll find out today if anyone's left.
Because Stan is already.
But I'll tell you something. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for Stan sitting in. I could kiss him. I mean, I was in desperate straits yesterday.
Well, we could arrange that.
I think we get a couple of letters on that.
Yeah, a few.
Norman have another stack up to the ceiling in the...
Okay, now, did you hear that, Jack? Steve wants to kiss Stan right on the cheek, and Stan is going to kiss him on the rose, okay?
Let's get busy.
Wow, this ought to be good for another 20 or 30 letters,
It's going to be a busy weekend.
Get that, what do they call that? The word generator? What do they call it? The word processor. Boy, I bet that thing is just churning it out.
It must just flow out of
You can hear the sounds right now.
You go to the Gables, you can hear it clicking.
Yeah. Here's a mobile in Dade. Hello. Yeah. Okay, well, he was nervous. He thought if he got on the air here, he'd have his license plate taken down. He got nervous and chickened out. Deerfield.
Hey, Nell?
Yeah.
What if it is a phony voice? What if it's a phony voice? What's it to you?
Oh, I was sure. We have an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD. Yeah, he's my favorite. He calls on all the different lines now. He gets around like the Beach Boys. He gets around. Let's see. What are we going to do? Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here on my orifice.
You're sitting on your orifice?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
I probe orifices for a living. I'm a doctor. And Steve's there. He's familiar with the Baker Act, isn't he?
Steve just walked out only moments ago. Don't even get into that, sir. Don't let's start getting into those things on the air.
What?
The Baker Act.
Oh, so you're familiar with the Baker Act?
Yes, I am. Uh-huh.
Can I ask you a serious question, though? You're not a homeowner. If
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah, I don't own the home I live in.
Talking about Jim Baker?
He's talking about the Jim Baker Act, yeah.
No, not the Jim Baker Act. Seriously, the Baker Act. Not the Jim Baker Act, although I guess in his case it did apply.
It does fit, doesn't it?
You are a homeowner. I was at one point in time sued for libel, and it was covered under my homeowner's insurance policy. I didn't know you were a homeowner. If you rent, what covers libel?
What are you talking about, sir? What the hell does homeowners insurance have to do with libel?
No,
it's not liable, it's libel.
Liable.
You're a doctor?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. I think you've been looking at too many of those lately, sir. It's 1240, 20 till 1 at WIOD. He told us in the beginning what kind of doctor he was. And we have one open line in Dade, 751-WIOD, 751-9463. By the way, I must say, you're not right too often, but you were absolutely right about Hank. I mentioned that the other day, but you couldn't have heard it because you were tied up with all that stuff. Hank is a douchebag. He really is. He's a putz. I know he's my best friend, and it pains me to say that.
What did he?
It's just true. It's just this ongoing viciousness. Not what he's done to me. It's what he's attempting to do to you.
Oh yeah. Well.
And I think fun and games is great, and we can all give and take and do the shots. But when it's personal and vicious. And when it's intended to be vicious, then it's a different story. And I think Hank ought to really re-examine his entire agenda and govern himself accordingly.
I don't comment on Hank anymore, but I agree.
No, I didn't expect you to. I'm just telling you that you had an excellent point, and I think the audience shouldn't be sucked in by a guy who pretends to be this caustic raconteur or whatever he is.
Nor the interestingly enough, the sales department. He has gone to members of the sales department, betting them $100. I will not be here a month from today, which is always helpful for morale in the sales department. And I just keep running around to everyone he's bet with, asking if they can kind of double the bet and give me half. So far, he hasn't matched my 1,000, but what can I tell you?
I told Phil that if he ever wins
thing?
another race at Calder, to call me, and I personally would go over there to take the number down myself. I will climb up onto the scoreboard. You know, the tote board in the infield? I will personally climb up on there and take the number down myself.
You know, also I was thinking, if I was Mike Disney, I would
don't
be,
say that.
I would be very angry. I would be very angry.
Can you imagine your underwear bills if you were Mike Disney?
If I were Mike Disney, I'd be very angry at Mr. Goldberg running around betting with the sales department on something like that, which might deter them from selling the show and making money for the station.
Mike doesn't have time. For
I do
things of
understand
that
that.
nature. Mike is busy with the FCC and Jack Thompson. He's got his own agenda, and he's got important things to take care of over and over and over again. So don't bother him with these little unimportant things. Boy, Laura certainly looks good, doesn't she? She looks like she's going to be springing forth any day now. Throw the one I gave earlier away, and this one is better. Boone at Siam's Dolls bringing food next Friday. Boy, you're just full of it, aren't you? See how your life has taken an upturn already that you dumped that schmuck that you were going with? On Wednesday, I don't want to talk about Scott that way. He's not a bad guy, but he is a Mets fan. Wednesday, September 13th at the Specs Live Remote, Possibilities bringing food from their new location at 12563 Biscayne Boulevard. Christine, what is this? What is this? From their new location at 12563 Biscayne Boulevard, which is right up the street from Specs, where we're going to be.
Sure is.
They'll have a table set up, samples of the many varieties of pasta salads for those attending the remote. So come on down to Specs, spend a morning with Neil Whitey there, sample some of the great pasta dishes that Possibilities has to offer. What is this? Is this a spot?
No.
Or is this what is it?
Sounds like off-the-air information for you.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounds
well,
like.
Then we won't do it on the air.
Good.
Fort Lauderdale, hello. Okay, nice talking to you, too. Probably somebody heard Stan's show yesterday. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
This is Cheryl, your Guiding Light fan.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't called in a while.
Boy, what great timing, Cheryl.
Why?
I don't know, no reason in particular.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say that I'm glad that both of you and Bert, are both back from vacations. I couldn't take much more of the shows without the two of you there, or at least Bird by himself is even good.
I heard Alex was tremendous. Disney told me that Alex Bennett was so good that it was frightening.
I bet he did.
I said, I heard a little. I thought it was frightening, too.
I just wish they would have left Bird by himself. He does a great job by himself.
They hate him. Don't you understand? They hate him with a... No, I'm being honest with you. There's no point in beating around the bush. They despise him. They don't trust him. They think he's untrustworthy. He has no judgment, no talent, that by himself he absolutely sucks.
Well, I'm glad that the two of you are back.
Can you say what you just said on the, not the sucks part, can you say the other part?
Can you say together on the radio?
No, it's beating around the bush.
No, we can't say that either.
Okay, we take that back.
President's family gets very upset about that.
Well, I'm just glad that all the vacations are over, I hope.
Yeah, ordinarily when you work at a real radio station, vacations come and go and people fill in. There's no major problem and life goes on. But here it's a gigantic upheaval, when there are vacations for anybody. They just can't quite get their act together.
Terrible.
And they have all these bureaucratic people running around making these wild, neurotic decisions and bringing people that just got fired in to see how bad a job they can do. And it's great.
I have to give you a compliment, though, Neil.
Well, go ahead.
I've been following you for many years.
And I'll tell you how much I loved it, like Alex did.
No, thank you. I've been following you for many, many, many years since you were
kind of like Jack,
years,
huh?
Now,
would you like some license plate numbers? Here's, wait a minute, April 1st, Bob and Harlan at Neil's house. Here's that silver Fox. Here we go, silver Fox, Pembroke Pines, DFZ.
No, that's okay.
Silver Toyota van. I don't even know anybody who drives a Toyota silver van. Go ahead.
I have to say that you've been very, very nice about the whole situation with Mr. Thompson there. I mean, this has been going on for years, and you've never really done anything.
You know what, really? We have been doing a lot of things behind the scenes. We've been spending zillions of dollars to try to get this goofball, find him a life and do something else. But what really set me off was this Chicago business, this page that's got all these notes. When we're in Chicago having a good time and having a few meals and seeing some ball games and just there to have a good weekend, and this Putz is out there making phone calls to restaurants.
What was the purpose? I'm confused. What was the purpose
of that? Was to find out where we were staying. What was the purpose beyond that? You'd have to ask him.
Well,
I don't know. All I know is what happened to us the next day.
I'm very proud that you guys have been just so good on the air about it, and this guy's just looked like a total jerk in the paper and, everything else that he's done, and it's about time you guys get to say stuff about it. I mean, it's...
Well, you're going to hear a lot about it, including our regular daily feature, okay? So Jack's going to have to stay real close to home. Taping will not be sufficient.
He really deserves anything you guys give him now because, I mean, you guys have been just so good about...
See, and all this guise of doing it because he's concerned about the airwaves and about public decency, and in the meantime, he's, tracking us down everywhere we go and snooping around the house and taking down license plate numbers and contriving in his mind, conjuring up all these illicit things that are going on in the house, and I went to Vegas with some people, so therefore... You see, he believes, I guess, that anybody you meet, you have sex with. So I guess he must live in very limited circles, because they don't look like he's had too much lately. But
I meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I hope that's not true.
But quite frankly, I guess he figures that's the only kind of relationships that people engage in.
Well, it's really a shame that the man has nothing else in his
Nothing else to do, zero. Although I will tell you something you'll find very amusing. And looking through thousands of these pages so far, I have found 3 or 4 pages that are not directly related to me or this. However, they are phone calls made to places where they sell videotapes. See, what he does is he records these shows on the audio on VCR and videotape every day, and he's trying to buy videotapes in bulk at a lower price. So those are the only other calls I've found that aren't directly related to Neil Rogers, only peripherally.
Well, have you seen Guiding Light lately?
I saw a little of it the other day, and I can't handle it. Holly was there with Roger in the same room, and Roger's a good guy, and I can't deal with it.
It's getting really bad.
Don't you see we have a real-life soap opera here?
Well, they're bringing Beth
that
back.
That kind of occupies us.
Well, your soap opera is good, but...
And it's real.
But that's the bad part.
Yeah, exactly.
We can turn off Guiding Light. Can't turn off yours.
Excellent point.
Well, thanks again.
Have a great weekend.
I'm glad you guys are both back.
Bye.
Bye.
12:49 at WIOD. Let's see. What did I do with the special? Must
what
have been a busy beaver that day.
I can't believe.
February 13th, 1988. Sheriff Nick Navarro, Broward County Sheriff's Department, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Dear Sheriff Navarro, on January 28th, 1988, Neil Rogers on his daily radio program on WZTA FM at 8:42 a.m. 3 times called you a Nazi pig. I convey this to you not to elicit any official action by your department, but rather to inform you as an individual of this defamation. Govern yourself accordingly. Best, J.B. Thompson. The funny part of it is Nick Navarro actually likes me, even though he is a Nazi pig, so it doesn't make any difference.
We saw him like a couple months ago. He was in here with Steve.
And we mentioned this individual's name to him, and he said, I don't want to repeat what he said.
Yeah, we can't.
Didn't have anything very complimentary to say. Nothing that we could repeat on the air, let's put it that way. Who's on that bat line? Oh, the mystery informer. This ought to be good. Hello.
This morning at 10, Neil Rogers makes way for the really big talent.
Hi, this is Jeff Clark, sales manager at 610 WIOD. Thursday, Neil walked off the show and insisted I serve as guest host this morning at 10. Well, frankly, I've been waiting for this opportunity all my life. Hey, in this hour of the show, we're going to be playing a little music from Jim Baker's new record, Jim Baker Sings the Blues. I don't want to give the money back. And, of course, in our sports segment, we're going to have why the Cubs couldn't get lucky with a fistful of pardons in a woman's prison. And in a more serious topic, we're going to discuss fashion trends with famous local talk show hosts and why double knit and velour never seem to go out of style.
More entertaining than police radio, more exciting than Joe Zagacki, and more profitable than a barrel of McGreen. The Neil Rogers Show, this morning at 10 on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
Oh, excellent, Jeff. I have only one thing to say.
Loan me $50.
1254 at WID. They're so clever back there in that sales department, especially Jeff Clark. There is a guy with a... No, it was cute. For him especially. Incredible. Because his sense of humor is sewn on his sleeve. It's amazing. They have to sew it on.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
That's what I heard.
He has an iron-on sense of humor. Anyway, we do have an open line in Broward, which causes me great pain and consternation at 524 WIOD, but you're safe because Steve stepped out momentarily, so now they'll start lighting up again. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a talk show host that's going to take some of the heat off of your rear end, so to speak. Alice Mantel is going to have Jerry Butler dressed as a motorcycle cop administering the breathalyzer test. That'll give Jack something to do.
Yeah, I have a feeling. And, of course, he probably can get ringside tickets because he seems to have a lot of good friends over there. Okay.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, guy.
Govern yourself accordingly, sir.
Take care.
12:55 at WIOD as the plot thickens, doesn't it? Boy, I'm amazed at all these Dennis Collins communiques back and forth, and Dennis says this, and Dennis said that, and Dennis said Tim Williams said this, and Tim Williams said that he was tickled to death that Disney would hire him and hoped that he didn't back out at the last minute, et cetera, and on and on and on. Because that was a bitter pill for them to swallow over there at WINC/Zeta 4 because they wanted to be consistent right across the board. And once Stan and I left there, man, they're as consistent as the weather in Pahokee, aren't they?
No question about it. On both stations.
A 1-5 and a 1-5, and of course those 25 to 54s in midday and afternoon drive are shocking, aren't they?
Well, that's what they want.
I mean, when even the motivation station beats you, then you know you've got it made. Well, he said he didn't want to be number one.
I remember.
Boy, this has been a good spread here today. We're just having a nice cigar.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
A 1, a 2, a 3. 106 at WIOD, 11-488. There's one more rambling of Jack that we just have to read on the air today because I find it so interesting. You're going to just flip your wig. 11-488. Dennis Collins.
Uh-huh.
He saw Tim Williams today, and he admitted they never could sell Rogers' show.
Right.
Also, Williams was hoping Disney would sign Rogers and was afraid Disney would back out. I called to tell Dennis Kane had compounded the defamation. So that's our little tidbit from 11-488. 3 days before we started on the air here, as a matter of fact.
Now, I remember...
Couldn't sell the show.
12 minutes an hour. We used to add it up.
And then they added 2 more minutes because the show was oversold. They had such demand. They had a waiting list to get on the show on Zeta, but they never could sell the show.
I remember a fit
For 8 months, we were sold out.
You threw a fit at the sales department one time. I remember it like it was yesterday because they went over 12 minutes. And I remember what you said to them. You said to them, you can put all the spots you want on there, but after 12 minutes, that's all we're going to run. I mean, you had to throw a fit to get them to hold it to 12 minutes. They were lined up, business, trying to get on that show. But they couldn't sell it.
At enormous rates.
Top rates. But they couldn't sell it.
No. Then how come Tim wrote that memo that said that I was responsible for a third of all the billing on both stations?
That's correct. At least.
If they couldn't sell it, where did all that billing come from?
I used to hear the spots every morning. There were 12 minutes an hour.
Wow. Maybe this is all just a dream or a fantasy, because you can't imagine that Tim would make up something like that and that Dennis would repeat it. Could you believe that?
Man.
Dennis seems to be involved in these ongoing day-to-day conversations quite heavily, doesn't he?
Yeah. We're finding out.
That's Dennis Collins, a general manager of WNWS, one of our competitors. Which would be, I mean, if that were true, that would be so embarrassing to find out that he's kind of been. What
do you mean? If it were true, it's right there.
The fact that Jack wrote it doesn't make it so. We have to give Dennis the benefit of the doubt, don't we?
Do we?
Well, it's 8 minutes past 1 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward. Well, there's a lot of stuff in here that we've been waiting for a long time to be able to piece together. And then, of course, that incredible Chicago masterpiece with those phone numbers and phone calls and. I don't know about you, but I sure wouldn't want to be involved in snooping around in a situation where 4 people nearly got killed in a rent-a-car. You know what I'm saying? Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I just wanted to find out, I've been listening to you, I guess, since the FM station, I guess about a year and a half.
Oh, you mean the one where they couldn't sell the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
that. Not to take it insulting, I was just curious how long that you've been a radio talk show host, how long you've been doing this.
Not to take it insulting?
Well, I just was curious if you've been doing this a long, long time, how many years I was missing your show.
Oh, 17.
17 years in Florida.
Right.
So I've missed your show for quite a while.
Well, it's really not much, according to some. You're not missing much.
I also wanted to recommend, I don't know when your next vacation's coming up, but I just got back from...
Well, I'll be happy to tell you where I'm going. And listen, I'll give you the name of a restaurant close by so you can call in and find out which hotel I'm staying at, okay?
Well, I just got back from Lake Tahoe, and I would recommend that to anybody. It's a great spot.
Can I tell you a little story?
Sure.
Years ago, I was out in California, and I think I was in Sacramento, and I said to myself, well, gee, I think I'll drive over to Tahoe. You know, it's not that far.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a fork in the road there, and if you go to the right, you go into the city there with all the casinos, and if you go straight, there's this winding, narrow road that goes all the way around Lake Tahoe, okay?
And it's about 50 miles out of the way.
Oh, man. So not only is it 50 miles out of the way, but it's this winding. Thank goodness it was in the summertime, and it was breathtaking view, but it's the most dangerous road. In the winter, they close it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these places that you have to actually come to a full stop and make almost a 180-degree turn to keep going back up the mountain, you know? And you look down. There are no guardrails or anything, and you look down, and there's the lake and all these rapids, and it's breathtaking view, but it's a nightmare of a ride, you know?
But did you enjoy the trip?
No, it was great.
I came back and I thought it was just one of the greatest spots in the world.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful.
I wasn't sure if you'd been there or not, and I figured I'd recommend it to you because I'd recommend it to anybody.
It really is beautiful.
Well, that's all I wanted to let you know. I enjoy your show and hope to listen for the next 17 years.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
11 after 1 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward. I'm not going to give the Boca and Palm Beach line because nobody calls on those anyway. And I'm tired of exerting and re-exerting and just wasting a lot of needless energy on that. Those people are not a part of this show. They're not a part of the state. They're not a part of the planet. They're just like vegetating. I think it's probably appropriate that we have someone on the Boca line who's called Veggie because they're just kind of in a vegetative state. Florida. In Broward, though, there is one open line. If you move very, very fast now because the line is forming all the way to the Rascal House, 524-WIOD. If you want to be a part of this big 1 to 2 hour, even if you have absolutely nothing to say, what makes you any different from the rest, right? Here's a mobile in Broward. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Great.
I'm a first-time caller. I've only been listening to your show about 3 months now.
Virgin caller,
Virgin caller.
Well, maybe we can get you together with the Reverend Virgin.
Wait, can you say Virgin on the air, though?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. But what I'd like to say is, I didn't know anything about the story that's going on and everything I've been hearing you say about this guy, Jack Thompson. Is he supposedly a Christian or something? Or
yes. Oh, very much so. Born-again Christian. And, they don't hate the sinner, but they hate the sin. You heard that line before.
Well, what I was going to say, Neil, is that I'm a Christian, and I listen to your radio, and, I don't agree with some things you say, and some things I really like what you say, but for a man who claims to be a Christian and call himself that, to harass you and to do something like that isn't very Christian-like.
Well, if you could read these letters and the language and the tone and the threats of these letters and the lies and the twisted distortions of what I say on the air, certainly nobody who is really a Christian could possibly, do these things. But then again, throughout history, people have masked themselves behind alleged religion. Even Torquemada said he was a Christian.
Right.
And Hitler and his SS had, God is on our side on their belt buckles and thought that they were Christians too. So just calling yourself something doesn't make it so.
Well, that's right. I just want to let you know, just because, what he says he's doing isn't really, backing up his supposedly a lifestyle that really that's what it is. I just want to let you know that, I really enjoy your show, and like you said, if you don't like something that you say, you can always turn the dial.
Exactly.
And but I really appreciate, you guys not slamming him. That shows more character and morals on your part than I think it does on his part.
Well, we certainly aren't looking to twist or manipulate any of the things that he said or to try to imply crimes where there aren't any or have any investigations. All we want is to go ahead and live our lives and do our thing and have him find a new hobby,
Right.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Hey, you too, Neil.
Bye. 113 at WIOD, an open line in Dade now. If you move real fast, okay? This is the psychology that we have to go back to. 524-9463, 524-WIOD, where we just hung up only moments ago, and we want to tell you about WIOD.
Did you know he wants to settle with me?
Does he really? Yeah.
And I said, no wager.
Anyway. Oh, look at this. This is a call from Tallahassee. Hello.
Joe Neil.
Oh, this is that guy with the crank voice again. Yeah, Tallahassee. Nick, please, get a life, will you? The guy with the phony voice again. It's one of those mouth breathers. You must be getting ready for your show.
Warming up.
We have an open line in Boca and in Tallahassee, but I said I'm not giving those numbers. I'm not. I started getting a weakness again there. Miami, hello.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I've got a friend that's a Cardinal fan, right? And I'm a Cubs fan.
How old is your friend?
24.
24?
Yeah, sort of.
Ask if he wants to live to be 25.
Yeah. All right. And I'd like to know if I should place a bet with him today.
On today's game?
Yep.
Well, let me just put it to you this way. Let me give you a diplomatic answer. Paul Kilgus is pitching for the Cubs today. Does that answer your question?
Okay.
I keep your money. I would sew your money up in your pocket. Okay?
I'd like to know something.
And then Sutcliffe's pitching tomorrow, so I would put it in a safe deposit box, okay?
Yeah. Where'd you get the bird? Parrot Jungle?
Yeah, Parrot Jungle. As a matter of fact, he was loose out on Dixie Highway, and we caught him with a net.
Okay, can I talk with the bird?
Sure, go right ahead. He's anxious to speak to you after that comment. He's very...
Yeah, after that wonderful comment you made about...
It was just a little joke. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
I like to call my friends Alan and...
Wait a minute, before you call, I thought you wanted to talk to the bird.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do that one at a time. Don't get nervous now. Is this your first call?
Okay.
What's your first name?
What?
I know, that's a tough question. Okay, what's your name?
Michael.
Michael. How old are you, Michael?
10.
10. Okay, I knew this had to be an excellent call. Now go ahead, talk to the bird. You're right on his level.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes? How come you guys are laughing back there?
Well, because you're just such a comedian, Michael. You what show are you on? Are you on with Joey Reynolds?
No.
Have you seen his TV show?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you're regressing, Michael. It's obvious. Just keep that stuff off. Now, what do you want? You want to call who a douchebag, and let's move on.
What? Okay.
It's nice hearing from Michael. 119 at WIOD. Well, we don't want to keep those 10-year-olds on too long. Jack will get their license plate number. Let's go to... You probably get his tricycle number. There he is, trolling again on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that disgusting? There's that one page in there. I'm beginning to... I got to confess, I'm looking at that page, and it sounds pretty interesting about... Bob and Alan and Andrew, better known, of course, as the Mysterious Stem. And evidently, those are the three who are, involved in this thing in my house. I didn't know what was going on. I'm going to start looking in all the rooms to see if I can find it.
You missed it.
But, boy, I'll tell you, I mean it seriously, because they're all above age now and all of that. If that were going on in my house, I would never leave. I'd have to do the show from the house. Okay? I mean, I know it's only your fantasy, Jack, but listen, why can't we share it together? Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Quite some time ago,
boy.
last November, I called you about a record that you played, and you gave me an address in Kentucky where I could purchase it.
Oh, yeah, that was that flatulence record.
Yeah. Where was
the
that?
The Great Crepitation Contest.
Right. Where was that place? I have lost the address.
Oh, you want me to give you the address, like right off the top of my head, right?
Well, no, not necessarily. I listen to your show daily, so if you gave
Okay, I don't remember. It was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I think the zip code was... That was it.
I got that zip code.
Okay. 20 after 1. He wants me to give him just off the top. What was the name of... you remember. What was her name?
Was it Betty's?
Betty's Rare Records.
Betty's Rare Records.
See, it's amazing. We did find it. They have a phone number, and I don't want to give it on the air because Jack might call up there and find out about that flatulence record. But it's Betty's Rare Records in Louisville, Kentucky, and if that gentleman will call, the best of Neil attacks Glenn for not going to the remote this Saturday. Oh, be sure and tune in that tomorrow morning. That's a great show.
Yeah, I missed it. So maybe, maybe I better not. No,
Neil attacks Glenn for not going to the remote. This isn't the remote. This is when you came back, right? Yeah, when we attacked you viciously.
And that's best of?
Yes. And the best of Kane when Steve got tattooed again. That's been on.
They keep running
Hasn't
that.
This been on
over
numerous
and over,
times?
Yeah, over and over.
Well, they're obsessed with that. Nick just can't get over that. Okay, he's obsessed with that rose. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
What's up, Glenn?
Hey.
Glenn, I have a question for you. What's your favorite musician, artist?
Montavani.
Who?
Who's my favorite musician?
Yeah,
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Because last time, I remember when
Stevie Wonder. Steve Tyler.
No, because
Steve Kane.
Steve Kane? He sings?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyways,
well, what is the point of this? There must be something at the end of this. What are you getting to?
Because I'll see you next Wednesday. I'll go there to the Memorial.
Oh, yeah, with Dion.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, Dion.
Oh, you like Dion then?
Yeah.
They put him a lot on Magic.
Constantly. Oh, you listen to Magic?
No, I just flip through it and then there's Dion right there.
Because I was just about to hang up on you if you listen to Magic.
I like to say those people down there, those fellas, they're a bunch of putts and they're a bunch of douchebags.
Okay. 22 past 1 at WIOD. One thing about our callers, man, they have good variety, don't they? They got like about 3 things, and that's all they can say. Nothing else. Okay, let's do a break here. This is kind of a traumatic day for us because it's the last day we're going to be working with Nick, I understand, during these hours. He's very broken up about it. As a matter of fact, during this break, I'm going to look through and find that note about Jack's conversation with Nick before I came on the air, which is devastating. It really exposes Nick for the homophobic, neurotic douchebag that he really is. It's an incredible note. You'd be hang your head in shame. And we'll come right back. Well, it's nice to see that Fat Rich hasn't been ignored. Boy, you're in this stuff right up to your ears here. Your name is just pops up on every other page. Isn't this incredible? Here's your license, your former license tag number. Why you and Jack were always tight? I've never questioned about it. Okay. Anyway, Steve will be here in a half hour. He's got a PMS, a killer
2 women whose problems with That's what it says. 2 women whose problems with premenstrual syndrome nearly led them to murder, plus Dr. Gail Brown of the Florida PMS Clinic. Now, Sharon, of course, is leaving us. This is her last day, and I saw that motley crew that she's going off with. Wow. Boy, I tell you, if we could have just gotten Sharon some contacts before she left, maybe we could have straightened her life out, okay? But she insisted on wearing Steve's thick blue contact lenses, the ones that made him look like Bob Martinez, and she just wouldn't cut it out, you know.
Bob Martinez is in town today.
He is in town, and we certainly want to wish him all the best, because God only knows he's going to need it. Let's go to Hollywood. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great.
I haven't listened to you in such a while. I've missed you.
Well, why is that?
Well, I've been in the midst of moving, so everything's been chaotic for me. But
Do you want to give us your home address on the air so we don't have to trace you down?
No. No, I can't do that. But I've missed you. You're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and very refreshing.
And very
Not too intimidating.
Not too intimidating.
Not as good as Alex Bennett, though. Did you hear him when I was on vacation?
Yes.
Oh.
He wasn't bad.
No, he was terrific.
He was okay.
In fact, we're going to bring him back to do a couple more weeks.
Nah. We want to hear you.
Yes.
Listen, I want to know if I don't know if you remember me. My name is Debbie. I call you all the time.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget, Debbie?
Yeah.
You have kind of that fetchy voice, yeah.
Come on, I don't. If I call you sometime next week, I have to get everything all set up. Could you leave a message on my answer machine?
Sure.
Great.
No, anything you want, Debbie.
Oh, good. Be creative. Say anything you want.
Oh, okay. How about if I say...
It really is Irene Richards.
How would that be on your answering machine? You could be the only one in town.
Okay. Listen.
Next to Irene, who, by the way, wants to mend fences with a bird. Did you hear Greg Budell call today?
No.
It was the most shocking event of the entire day. Even more shocking than that memo about the Chicago restaurant and the hotels. And the bird was just... He's usually unflappable, if you pardon that expression, but he was just falling apart at the seams. Couldn't believe it.
It was stunning.
And Keith Allen was quacking in the background, and they all want to kiss and make up. They just,
something's going on.
They're gravitating toward the show like they did in the old days. You know, they all want to hang on and be part of the show. And Greg's wife, he just got married. His wife's having a baby in a couple months. It's great. No, that's what he said. I'm not making that up. She's very much in the family way.
Uh-huh. Well,
which is interesting, because he was getting married to somebody else, wasn't he, just a few months ago?
Oh, yeah.
So God only knows what that's really all about.
Neil.
Yes.
Tell me, I need a suggestion, because it's my husband's birthday soon, in another week, and I'd like to take him out for a lobster dinner. Could you suggest a nice place?
Well, why don't you take him to Shell's Tuesday night? Shell's?
I mean... No, I want a nice place.
Well, Shell's isn't... Now, what kind of a comment is that? Shell's isn't a romantic place, but it's a nice place.
Don't get me wrong. I've eaten there many times. It's nice. It's very good, but I wanted a nice, romantic
Take him to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
Where do you live?
Well, I'm moving to Sunrise. I'm now in Hollywood.
Well, then you're not far from Fort Lauderdale from a federal highway. It's like 20 minutes up the road.
Okay.
Right? You know where it is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, take him to Ruth's Chris.
There, but, you have
great show, Jeff. That was excellent.
Okay, great. Can I say something to the bird?
Go right ahead.
Bird, you have an incredible laugh. I love it.
Oh,
and you have a really sexy voice too.
Wow.
Now you know why he's on radio.
I love your voice. It's just...
Why don't you come by Specs this coming Wednesday while we're doing the show there, and you can meet him in the flesh?
Well, I'll be doing my clinic. I'm so disappointed.
And that'll...
I'll be at Broward General doing my clinical training on Wednesday. So I'm going to miss you. I'm really disappointed. But I'll catch you next time.
Okay.
But you do. You have a great voice. I love it.
Well, thanks. How come everybody's trying to
say goodbye,
cozy
Debbie.
up to me today?
Have a great weekend.
Okay.
Talk to you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
What a day.
Well, here's an exciting police call in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I just wanted you to know that I'm a police officer, and I've listened to you for a good long while. I'll listen to you when you're on WJNO up here, if I can say that.
Are you serious? Boy, you're an old guy like me.
Well, I am, yes. I've been told that, too.
I'll be
Along
damned.
with being called a pig and all that other stuff, that doesn't bother me.
No, they call me that, too, and I don't even have a uniform.
It, you know?
Yeah.
I just wanted to call and say hello. I've listened to you for a long time. It's the first time I've called you. And
well, you would be amazed how many people in law enforcement listen to this show. They love this show.
Sure. Hey, let me
Jack's
tell you
pretty
something
upset about that, but they all love this show.
I'll tell you something about police officers, Neil, that most people don't know. They have got to have a unique personality and a unique sense of humor, or they don't last very long.
Yeah, I would think so.
They have to laugh at life, and
especially
and
with all
we're
this,
having fun, and so are we.
With all the slime balls you have to deal with every day, I would believe that, just like we do on this show.
Sure, that's all part of the game.
Exactly.
Well, you have a nice day, and I enjoy listening to you, and keep it up, no matter what anybody says.
Keep it up. Huh? Well, listen, if a police officer tells me that, how can anybody argue with it, right?
That's an order for sure.
Okay, govern yourself accordingly now.
All right, partner.
See ya. Oh, well, I guess I have my marching orders, huh? 131 at WIOD. There's an open line in Dade County now. It's pretty aberrant for there to be, especially even when Palm Beach is lighting up again. It's probably a crank, but geez, aren't you embarrassed in Dade? Don't you want to keep up with the Joneses and the Garcias and the Schwartzes?
Now, where did Johnny Dark go?
751 WIOD in Dade. He's in the little studio there dubbing jingles. Oh, and Blind Mike called Stan yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I didn't hear too much of Stan's performance, and Stan did come in on very short notice, and sure, I don't want to rip him because it's his birthday tomorrow. But, boy, it was. I was driving home from court, and they were all tinkling on him, so it was incredible. Oh, Stan, you're so great. You're so good. And don't these don't they know that that's not interesting for anybody to listen to? It's so boring, man. It's so boring. Who cares? Okay, he's great. You know, say something stupid or anything, but don't just call and tinkle all over the guy.
You know, I was wondering, because all the people that called Alex in that 5 days, same thing, you know, oh, Alex, you're so wonderful.
Well, boy, I tell you, listening to a half hour of that is surely exciting.
I want to know
it's
where
electric radio.
But where have all those people gone? I mean, there were dozens and dozens that called in, and you know it, Rich, during that week.
Oh, the phones were hot, huh?
No. But I mean, over 5 days, dozens of people said that. Where did they all go?
Here he goes again. Here he goes with all these wild exaggerations. Fat Rich said that the bird's a liar. 133.
It let us realize that we have the ability to beat these guys because these guys have kicked our butts all year long. I mean, they haven't even been close games.
You know who that was?
Kurt?
That was Mark Grace.
Unbelievable.
Reliable sources say Ken is the phony voice caller. Now you know who that is?
Huh.
I'll be damned. Isn't that something? That's a former antagonist of ours from INZ days. I just mentioned that in this stack of stuff in here. There's the name of him and his wonderful family up there in North Dade, and he just can't stay off that phone. Now, here's a guy, by now he's got to be about over 30 years old. Right?
Is it North Dade? Is that where
North Miami, I think, yeah. A real chip off the old block. And 30-year-old guy, and he's still making crank calls to radio stations, to talk shows. Boy, that's talk about somebody needs some help, if that's him. Well, whoever it is. But that's him, all right, because it sure rings several bells with me. Isn't that terrific?
What's it to you?
Yeah. I don't know, but boy, talk about get a life. Oh, look at this. We've got Norm Kent Jr. on the phone.
Hello?
Yes?
Hey, how did you know my name was Ken?
Oh, my God.
And you know what? I'm over 30 years old, and here I am making a call to you.
Isn't that great? Well, listen, how's your dad Saul doing?
Saul?
Yeah.
He's doing fine.
Yeah.
He misses you.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks about you often.
Great.
He mentions you.
Well, you'll be getting a call on Monday from the real Norm.
Yeah. I think you think I'm someone else. You know, every time I call you, you always accuse me of being someone I'm not.
You really?
Yeah.
Well, you know something?
What
you ought to be somebody else. 137 at WIOD. Let's go to Hollywood. Hello.
Yeah, hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff about ripping the bird, I got to tell you, when you did that live thing down at Toyota Hollywood.
The appearance, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to watch what I say. Anyway.
That live thing. Don't say live thing.
Well, I'm sorry.
Boy, that could really be twisted around by those who have very overactive hormones.
For those who have dead things, possibly. Anyway, you know, the bird was okay. When I went down there, I picked up a picture. He grabbed it out of my hand, signed it. I didn't even want a signature.
Yeah.
But he was good. Just kidding, Bert. Just kidding. I'm glad I got your thing on paper.
Of course, I didn't ignore anybody.
I know. He was terrific.
Yeah, he was great. That's what the crowd said, too, as they were trying to lynch him on the way out.
I know. But I got a question for you, seriously. With the problems you're having, okay, let's say it happened to a judge. that would be ended real quickly.
Hey, I got news for you. If any judge in this town was getting the harassment that I've been getting for 2 years and having people snoop around their houses and write down license plate numbers and make a general nuisance of themselves and calling all over the country to find out where they were staying on vacations, you know as well as I do, boy, the stiff arm of the law would come down so fast that our friend wouldn't know what hit him.
That's right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, you know, most of these judges, I'm sorry, you know, my attorney friends, they seem to think that some of these judges are really hotshot, and some of them are okay. But there are some in this town, man, I wouldn't give you 15 cents for them. They're just a bunch of pseudo-intellectual douchebags, and they look at everything like it's some kind of intellectual exercise as opposed to day in and day out life. You know, when you got somebody that's devoting their entire existence to ruining your life, and I'm not exaggerating, then you really got a real story going on.
You know, I'll tell you this, and you know it, and for the yo-yo that's listening, I know hundreds of people, and I've turned on literally dozens to your show over the years, when you were straight talk and also when you went to the shtick type talk. And they all love it.
Straight talk?
Straight.
I don't think straight talk was the...
You can't say that, huh?
No. That'll really confuse Jack.
But I've been listening to you for probably 8-9 years. And I don't know any... I got to change that. I know one person that complained about it out of hundreds that I know.
Yeah.
So.
And I bet you they turned it off.
Well, as a matter of fact, he did.
Yeah.
Whoa! He turned it off.
Isn't that a revolutionary idea?
But, you know, there's a lot of people out here that really enjoy your show, and I'm not trying to, you know, suck up to you in any way. I mean it legitimately, because it's kind of tiring when you get good stuff on the air, good entertainment, stuff that people enjoy, and you get some meatball in the name of whatever he's doing it in.
Yeah.
That wants to knock it off and ruin it for everybody else. He's got a finger, you know, he could use it to turn the dial off or whatever he wants to do with it. But he doesn't have to pull this kind of garbage, and there's an awful lot of people that are pretty hot about it.
You know, there's another interesting thing in looking through all his ramblings here and the dates on them. He very clearly lied in front of one of our judges here in Dade County a few months ago when we had a hearing, because he kept emphasizing over and over again that didn't want to get me off the air, didn't want to deprive me of a livelihood, because he knows that's a separate actionable thing, and that all he wanted to do was clean up the act. And yet in this series of thousands of letters and notes and so on, it just repeated over and over again. It must be gotten off the air, shouldn't be on the air. He recently wrote a letter to Senator Inouye up in Washington about how I shouldn't be behind a microphone, I have no business being on the air. So on the one hand, he will say for public consumption that he's just trying to clean up the airwaves, and on the other hand, he's trying to attempt to deprive me of a livelihood. Even if I sit here reading nursery rhymes, he still wants me off the air.
Well, I'll tell you something. If I had somebody haunting my life for 2 years like you do, I don't know how you...
It ain't easy, okay?
You stay in one piece.
It ain't easy.
I think I would have fallen apart and done something else myself.
Well,
but I wish you a lot of luck, and I know an awful lot of thousands of people do, and we hope you stay on the air forever.
I'm not going anywhere, believe me.
And you and the Bird got a terrific show. What can I tell you?
Thanks
Take
a lot.
care.
Okay. 141 at WIOD. Now, it says Hotline Phantom Caller. Now, if this is that same guy again, because you know Nick, it's his last day with the show. He hates the show to begin with. And if this Phantom Caller is that same guy again...
And they, of course, would have the hotline.
Then I'll take the last 20 minutes of the show, and I'll go through every page in here just to find that memo about Nick's conversation with Jack, okay? Hello.
Neil Rogers makes way for the really big talent.
Hi, this is Jeff Clark, sales manager at 610 WIOD. Thursday, Neil walked off the show and insisted...
That's the same thing. It was okay once.
They're so obsessed.
Yeah, they're so obsessed by it. It was funny the first time, but not for an encore, okay? I mean, it was mildly amusing the first time, but let's get serious.
Kickin' ass with 50,000 callers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lightning Round on the Neil Rogers Show.
WINZ, is there such a station still? Are they on the air?
I
sure am sorry that
know.
they couldn't sell my show over there. You know? Tim Williams, because he is such a bright guy, you know. I can understand Tim Williams and Dennis Collins having a lot of conversations together because, boy, you know what they say about birds of a feather? Isn't there some expression about that? Birds of a feather, their numbers suck together, something like that. Which reminds me, there's a trend coming out on Monday.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm not too concerned about this one, but I think that when the summer book comes out, that Alex Tony Bennett, I keep thinking that week that's going to be in there, wow.
Mm-hmm. And I always remember the 2 weeks I did in July, they were
like I
fine.
Said. How do you know?
They were fine. Well,
you don't know that. No, you don't know that. See, because it's 4 weeks now. The 2 other weeks that I was here...
Let me rephrase it.
Listen to this.
Let me rephrase
Listen to this arithmetic. The 2 weeks that I was here out of those 4 could have been an 8 And the 2 weeks that I wasn't here, could have been a 4, and that averages out to a 6.
Great.
I'm not saying it was, or they were.
You don't know.
Very well could have
Nobody knows.
But, no, well, you can find out. You can go into the week by week. We can dig that out for you if you're that
Can we go into day by... I'm not...
If you're that positive that you were holding your end of the bargain, there's no problem. We'll go into the research, and I'm sure that will bear you out. In fact, when I was here, they probably went down quite a bit.
I'm just saying it stayed through July. That's all I meant. I'm real happy about that. I'm real pleased that the numbers stayed through the whole entire month.
Well, management doesn't feel the same way. Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello.
I know that.
I'll pose this question. Has Susan Martin and Jack Thompson ever been seen together?
Well, that is an excellent question, and we're going to go out and check license plates this weekend and find out if perhaps we're not dealing with just one person. Boca, hello.
What? I don't see how you got from one to the other.
I mentioned a few trivial baseball names, and when trivia comes to mind, Mike Spindell immediately popped. Not to yours?
No.
I thought he was the trivia king of this
What's
market.
wrong with me?
Yeah, what is wrong with you? Well, this caller wants to ask the same thing. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, do you want to ask about what's wrong with him?
I want to know who this guy is that's laughing at everything you say.
There you go.
That's so disconcerting.
Well, how do you think I feel?
Terrible, I would think.
I said that Joe Collins died a week ago, and he starts laughing.
He laughs at everything. He's an idiot.
Well, we know
So are
that.
you, ma'am. I think you are, too.
Oh. You know, you're so childish.
So are you.
I think she hung up on you.
For hanging up and not speaking to me. Very childish.
No, she just don't want to talk to you. She doesn't... Oh, here's that Steve letter. I'm going to have to show that to him again when he comes back in. February 13th, 88. I wonder what was going on that day, because, boy, talk about frantic.
We got to look and see what day of the week that was.
Wow, frantic. Letters were just pouring out of that house.
Unbelievable.
Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank